if we were going by land.
If you look at the map, this is the second of the locks as you make your way in towards Reginca. I can zoom out a little bit and give you a little more view of the area. You've come in from the south, north coast up above. Just as kind of some orientation, you've got beaches here along this side. Of course, you can't really make that out from your position, but there is a road that comes in here. The harbor on your right has a number of sailing vessels and personal steamships in here. Further off to the right, off the map, are your larger cargo ships.
So that's like a sandbar going off to the left to protect against the water.
Yes.
Okay. Peering out that direction, are there people visible further out than would be on a normal beach? Are they taking advantage of the low tide fairly far out there?
Right now, I mean, this is mostly a mud flat in this
Okay.
zone here. There's nothing there that is inviting to the local people. You just kind of got a trickle of water heading out that direction.
There's not even like people out there like scavenging fish that beach themselves.
Nope. No, it is devoid of any people.
All right.
Here across the south end of the city, you see an old battlement wall. It's probably 40 feet tall. It's not the old crenellated castle structure. It's a more modern city that was meant to defend against cannons from ships. Think of those star-shaped fortifications. This is a version of that.
Any cannon spots, though?
No. Well, you can see some old cannonades on the top walls, but it looks like they're derelict.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to head north up Bastion Port and take a left on Rue de Toulouse.
Our hotel should be just inside Grand Porta on the outside lane.
If you've got Bastion Port and Grand Port.
Well, weren't we supposed to meet somebody in the Corsair district?
Do we want to settle in first, or?
Yeah,
Is
we've
our
got
hotel not in the Corsair district?
no. It's right inside the Grand Port. It's that Ibis Hotel marking.
Oh, okay. Then that's where we'll go.
You drive along the port, and off to your right, you see that there are a number of large ships docked in this area. There's an enormous harbor here for sailing vessels, fishing vessels, etc. The Bastion Port, if you pull in there, you enter inside the ramparts and you get into the narrow, old medieval streets, cobbled. Feels a little stifling as you make your way in here. Off to your left, you've got 5- and 6-story buildings. The top 3 stories being able to look out over the battlement walls, the lower 3 suffocated in the narrow lanes. As you make your way north along the road, there are a number of cars parked off to your right. You recognize that the street you're on is a one-way road, and as you approach the Ibis Hotel, you won't be able to continue on this path without taking a side street. Looks like the majority of the traffic comes south from this direction, heading down this street, and then you've got a northern version that comes up here.
Okay.
The ramparts above you are probably 30 feet above you. You see that there are people walking on the ramparts, tourists strolling along those high walkways. Many of them looking down at the city, others just kind of relaxing and taking in the view of the city. The top 3 or 4 floors of any of these buildings look out over the walls. Below that, they're behind the parapet.
Does it look like the whole city is of medieval construction, or is it more to the south, fading into more modern to the north? It's hard to tell.
It looks like there's been some renovations sporadically throughout the city, but the city itself hasn't changed much in probably 200, 300 years. You've got modern amenities in some of the park lanes. You see that there's actually a street light at the Grand Port governing traffic. Probably the only one in town, if you were to guess.
Just glancing at the map, I have to ask: is the Reginca College of Magic our target area?
Our do not go area.
I didn't even realize it was an entire university of magic users. I thought it was just a university harboring
A
a
segment.
magic user.
Yeah, it's a college.
God, we're gonna get wet.
Taking a bath. Yep.
Who, us?
Something that
No.
becomes very apparent to you quickly is that once you pass through the walls into the city itself, getting out again feels like an adventure. This is a bit of a maze. Cornell has, in some of the literature he was sent with, a basic map of the town. There are only 7 ways out of the city once you're inside. Each of
How many
those
by water?
Each of those are indicated: Citadel Port, Port de Champs, Herod Port, Freebooter Port, Bastion Port, Grand Port, and Promenade. You are inside an old city at this point, which means getting out requires you to funnel through those points.
Well,
Mhm.
an old city that was a fort. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
this is like
Fort,
the
yeah.
Civilian, not even civilian, probably officer quarters and everything else. This,
Well, it's where you would go in for your siege, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
yep, and it probably has water repositories. What is it called?
Cisterns.
Cisterns. Thank you. Cisterns and all sorts of other things to protect it. Probably more in the Citadel, but
Subterranean spaces.
yeah.
As you're driving through the streets, you see that there are families and couples carrying picnic baskets. They are dressed in layers of clothing that indicate they are headed towards the beach.
Mm.
You can tell that there are light shawls or cloaks covering their swim attire. You pass by a couple of street musicians playing for tips. As you approach your hotel, you get to a section of town here by the Grand Port where there's a high amount of foot traffic. As you look to the north down this long boulevard, you see that there are restaurants built into the wall here, the ramparts on the right side, and others that flank it on the other side that are part of the 5- and 6-story buildings that are hundreds of years old. There's more foot traffic than driving traffic here, but there are cars parked in every available spot. Bjorn, your anxieties kind of pitch up a little bit as you're trying to figure out where you can park in here. You did see before you entered Bastion Port that there was a line of open spots outside the battlement walls, but you have not seen a parking space since you've come within.
The can I find our hotel?
You pass by the Ibis Hotel after a short and slow drive up this lane. There is a half circle out front that has a handful of cafe tables and chairs surrounding each of those, facing a large windowed entrance to the hotel. The hotel is it's got 4 conventional stories and 2 steeped stories that are part of the roof line.
Do I see a valet anywhere?
You pull up around the front area. There are two people sitting on the street side, sipping at coffee and eating what looks like very thin pancakes, looking out your direction as you slow. You don't see any signs of an attendant.
I'm not going to toss the keys to some joker sitting at a cafe table. Um,
Not this time.
how far is the Grand Port from here? Looks like what, a block?
Yeah, it's a short distance, maybe 100 feet.
All right, I'm going to tell everybody to. I'm going to drop them and their luggage off at the hotel. I'm going to go out the Grand Port and park along the wall.
You drop off the group, unload the luggage. They pull everything out. You head out through the Grand Port, and parking is plentiful.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll catch up to them when I get back.
Who goes into the hotel first?
Bonnie, do you mind taking point on this, just in case they only speak Cornish?
I can do that. I can do that. You want to be my right-hand man on this? Robin, can you help Blanc with
I'm
your
going to cover the
luggage?
door, wait for Bjorn,
Oh,
and Blanca can follow you.
I don't know if you can make that out.
Oh, just hold it. Oh, there, it's clearing.
The
you need the blur is going.
the blur is killing it.
Oh,
Yeah, it almost came in.
I'll
Turn off
the
blur.
filter.
Yeah. It's funny how it's like, that's not a person. Darn you, AI.
Yeah.
Let's Michael Stearns this. Where'd that come from? Atmosphere. Okay.
Lovely.
It's clear.
That's
So-
so on the left side, or is the one straight in front of us?
So straight in front of you is the entrance to the hotel. You can see the battlements on
Nice.
this
Yeah.
side over here.
Drive on the
There's
left.
a little circular space out in front, which is the cafe, kind of outdoor dining space.
It's a senior sud, so is it drive on the left or drive on the right? Choose.
Yeah. French is on the right, isn't it?
French
I mean,
is like the Americans drive, yes.
Right, right.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Icenian vehicles feel wrong here.
Vive la France!
Yeah, I'll take point. Do you want to help Blanca with her luggage while I move forward? It sounds like Robin has gone with Bjorn.
Well, I'm going to stick with him. Yeah.
Okay. So I will approach the hotel.
Hotel.
You-
Before I walk away from Cornell, though, what are the arrangements made under?
I don't know.
Monsieur LeBlanc.
Monsieur Le Bon. We will figure it out. Oh, goodness. If anything, we can make arrangements. Walk in through the door. Hold my head high. Look at take a look at the interior of the lobby, and just get a sense of what this place looks like.
There are two large archways. Both have been segmented down to smaller openings. The one on the right is windows. The one on the left has a door that accesses the lobby of the hotel. Immediately after entering, on your left, you see a counter which looks or resembles a hotel check-in. Off to your right is what looks like a small cafe counter shop. You see that there are large coffee machines and a creperie. There are also a number of tables on the inside for those who are dining. It's kind of an informal environment. There is a man standing to the left behind the counter in a pork pie hat and a scarf. a little bit of stubble. He looks eagerly your direction as you walk in the door.
I'm assuming that he is going to be our host. I look over at the cafe though, because one thing is the pastries of Clovia are the thing that I just can't get enough of, and it's one of those things that we are now close enough to the border, we are there, and I am going to indulge, but I just keep an eye on all these different pastries.
The intoxicating smell of the creperie overwhelms your senses for sure.
Robin's gone.
Can't wait. Can't wait. I approach the counter.
You make your way up to the counter. You recognize that even though the space feels fairly small and compact, the tall ceilings here give an airiness to it that belies the small nature of the area. The check-in counter is opposite the creperie. You can smell the cappuccino, espresso, all these things mix. Your long journey kind of tugs at your stomach. The hotel manager, it looks like a very fashionable man in a lightweight fabric suit with a pork pie hat. He appears to have a little bit of shadow, giving him the look of a
Bristly.
bristle beard. He extends a greeting. I'm Alexander Bellamy. It's great to meet you. He speaks to you in Gallic.
In Gallic. Okay, I will come back to him in polished Gallic. We have a reservation here. Good to meet you, sir. Thank you for the fine day.
What is the reservation under, perhaps?
This we are looking for. Is there an Elkint?
He pulls up a little Rolodex, and as he kind of pulls out some cards, he's going, I do not have Elkind. Perhaps it is under another name.
Weiss?
Yes, Mr. Weiss.
Cornell.
Party of 6?
6, yes.
Yes, he pulls the card out, slides the Rolodex aside. You are looking for I have a number of rooms set aside, but I do have some flexibility. It is the height of tourist season, of course, but we are between changes in occupancy, so we can accommodate some flexibility. I have a suite, double room, and single rooms available.
What is most accommodating on a single floor?
I have 2 double rooms side by side and a single room adjacent to that. That would take care of 5 of your 6.
Yes, we will take that. Do you have any accommodations where we can bring in or a pop-up bed or anything along those lines?
I have a rolling bed, which we keep on hand for staff, but I can push it to the rooms.
If it comes due, we'll use that. But for now, we don't need it anywhere.
The single room is 8 quinn per night. The double is 10 quinn. The suite, of course, is 25.
Okay. The 2 doubles, a suite, and a single, or what was the arrangement?
You are asking for 2 doubles and a single. Is that correct?
We do have. Yeah, that would be appropriate. We can manage that.
28 quinn per night.
I start thumbing through my wallet and realize that I did not get the change. One moment. And I look over. I know that Robin went with Cornell. And is she standing at the door as she was taking a smoke?
Yeah, she's smoking outside the door waiting for Bjorn.
Oh, you're still on the edge of the near the Grand Port. Is that what you're talking about?
Not that far. No, I'm at the entrance of the hotel.
Oh, you are at
Just
the entrance. Oh, okay.
100 footers away from where Bjorn, in theory, will come back in through the Grand Port.
Okay. I walk over and say, Did he give you a portion of the money paying for the room?
Each of you has a portion, but I don't know how much.
We didn't talk about it. 50-50?
Just give me some money.
Some. I hand you 100.
Yeah, okay, that'll do.
100 quid.
I go over and I'm shaking my head because I feel a little sheepish that this man sees us squabbling over cash. I set out the amount in front of him. You said 28 quid?
28, yes.
Okay. Fan it out and put it on the counter, and then pocket the rest.
He reaches back to a box behind him, opens the doors up. You see him reach up and grab 3 keys, set them on the counter.
So I will pick these up. If I were to go back and dig into my brain about training and about tips, does this guy seem to have any expectations toward that nature?
Nope.
Okay. I snatch the keys off the table. These are much lighter than I'm used to. Tip my head to the man. Look at the numbers on the room keys. Walk up.
Looks like you're on the 3rd floor, which should barely give you a view beyond the parapet wall.
Barely. Maybe we should actually push for a little bit more. I'll run it past Blanca and see if she wants to do that. I'll step out the door. Where did Blanca go versus Robin?
She's just waiting there by the creperie with her luggage.
What about Cornell? Where's Cornell at?
Cornell's with Blanca.
Okay. I'll flag them over to where I'm at, within earshot of Robin, and see if she joins. I hold up the keys. 2 double rooms, 1 single.
That should work.
Blanca takes the key, hands it to Robin.
We can fight over this one however you want. Whoever gets to sleep with the bear.
There's a single room.
There's a single room.
I know. Oh, so we send him in there. Okay, we're fine. You don't feel like you need his cuddly attentions and security? Because anyway.
I'm not going to go there.
Well, just security then.
Okay.
We'll deal with it.
I do need his security.
Robin's waiting for Bjorn's security.
You pull out past the Grand Port, drive the vehicle over to an open spot. You secure the vehicle and step out, and you're not 50 feet from re-entering the Grand Port, where you see a man seated on the sidewalk, cobblestones, with a hat out in front of him. You see he's sitting on a blanket. He's got a rucksack next to him. You notice that he's got burn scars, might be even mustard gas scars, and he has a patch on his pack that is the same insignia as your unit.
Really?
Yes.
He's sitting on a bench?
He's sitting on the ground, on the floor, with a hat in front of him. It's got a few coins in it. His head's cocked forward. He just looks like he's full of shame.
Go crouch down next to him and ask him a question that only someone who had actually been in that unit would know.
He's hunkered over. His position says the world is attacking him. Sunlight is harmful to him. You crack through his facade with one question. He lifts up the brim of his hat, shows his eyes to be kind of milky, almost. There's that unnerving sense that, does this man have sight or doesn't he? But when he looks up at you, you have a connection. You mention some point of the war, and he responds the way your heart would respond to a similar question. The two of you are distressed and allied at the same moment.
He's a Norman.
He's a Norman.
Ask him his name.
I gotta find him now.
Well, you hooked him.
Expected a quiz.
Says his name is Corbin Johansson.
Good Norwegian name.
And ask Corbin where he lives.
He gestures to the walls and the cobblestones.
To the street. Pull out a 100 note and press it into his hand. Tell him to get himself a meal and clean place to sleep for the night. And I will look for him again here tomorrow or the next day. We'll talk more.
He grabs your hand really and gazes straight into your eyes. I do not like charity much, but
It's not charity. It is for the Veterans Fund.
I am not here by choice. There are many ways to slide down this stream. The river has placed me here, and I would claw my way back to a manhood's position. I do not need your charity.
I don't give charity to war veterans. You already earned that pay.
He shakes a little bit. You notice that the shoes that he wears are worn through. You can see his feet in the bottoms of these things. They're his service boots.
Peel off another 50 for him and tell him to get himself some new boots. Even soldiers get to requisition new equipment.
Odin be praised.
Well, then be praised. I will see you here tomorrow or the next day, Corbin.
He musters a modicum of manhood as he presents himself like the soldier he remembers himself to be. Thank you, my friend.
Good. I will see you then.
He clutches the money. You see him wad it up and stuff it into a bag, treating it much like the rest of his island of despair.
Make my way back toward the hotel.
You pass through the Grand Port. This huge arch feels inviting and suffocating at once. Once you pass through it and into the walls, the breeze from the port and the ocean seems somewhat stifled. There's a lot of foot traffic across here. You see families and couples making their way through, mostly left to right in front of you, headed to the north. You look to the left and see the front of the Ibis Hotel off to your left.
Head in that direction.
And Robin at the front.
I can't say that Bjorn's too terribly surprised to meet somebody like that here. I mean, we are right on the Normandy border. There's still got to be some of them left alive out there, so it doesn't make his condition okay, but hopefully I'll be able to get back to him.
You make your way towards the hotel. You see Robin out front. You smoking, Robin?
Finishing probably cigarette number 1 by this time.
Mm-hmm.
It took a while.
Her femme fatale leaks out even at this distance. All those thoughts you've had and ideas that you've postulated. Free surfers.
It's the skirt. The cigarette doesn't help any either.
Dainty girl cigarettes.
I will be here when you are ready, Robin.
It took a while to park. Is everything okay?
I met an old war comrade. Perhaps I will see him again.
Oh, from you remember him?
No.
Hmm.
But that is not unusual either. By the end of that war, there weren't too many people to remember.
Or you'd want to?
Yes. Yeah.
We have your room for you, my lord.
I like the sound of that.
I knew you would.
Are you going to be bunking with me this time, Robin?
Still, no one is brave enough or deaf enough.
Few women are courageous enough to face the gigantelope. But I have a good idea about you.
Oh, you Viking conqueror. Let's see the mission lead.
Indeed.
You see Blanca is in the cafe area on the inside. She's got a loose sheet of paper, which she's studying as her book sits next to her. You see her mouth working through the words, though no sound comes out.
It's not what the loose paper was that was ripped out of another spell book, was it?
The very same.
Interesting. Interesting. That's fun.
And why not?
Shall we go and visit our rooms then?
Yeah, let's go check them out. Let's see what you got for us.
Oh, well.
There's boys, girls, and there's Bjorn.
I stop everybody real quick and I say, okay, we're probably going to be just below the battlements. We could probably swing for something a little fancier on the suite level. We just got some double rooms. But I'm going to leave that to you. I'm just going to let you be aware that there's some flexibility. He said that we could get up there if we wanted to.
Is a single suite big enough for all of us?
Probably 3, but you'd probably want to keep it just to 2. And I point at Bjorn. we can
get to
we can make some
roof
accommodations.
access.
Yeah, roof access just means that either we're better targets or we can shoot down into the streets. So it all depends. We will not be able to jump from building to building. Well, Bjorn could, but we can't. So it just depends on what you're up for. But maybe we should go and look and decide if those accommodations are suitable.
Yeah, let's see what you have.
There's a staircase that climbs all the way to the roof. There's a tiny elevator that looks like it will hold 4 people shoulder to shoulder.
And one Bjorn? Or just one Bjorn?
I was thinking about that with the... Never mind.
You give him the duffel and the thing just... Okay.
You know, sooner or later you're going to say the words, boy, I'm certainly glad Bjorn was here.
He always says that.
He's stuck in the elevator for some reason, but yes, we're glad he's here.
The manager from the desk steps out from behind the desk and makes his way over towards your group and extends hospitality to assist you in any way possible. I am Alexander Bellamy. You are most welcome here at the Ibis Hotel. Anything that I can do for you, any accommodations that you need, come see me. I'm here at the desk. My family and I, we stay on the top floor. We are available to you round the clock. Do not hesitate to ask. We are here at your disposal.
Excellent. So if I wanted to exchange rooms to take something on the next floor up, we're on the 4th floor, correct?
Third.
I have other guests checking in within the next 2 hours. If you act with haste, perhaps I can make this accommodation.
Okay, we'll take a look around, but thank you for your accommodations.
Of course, it is my honor to serve.
Is he speaking in Gallic?
Yes.
She goes in the full absolute native. Oh, merci.
Oh, mademoiselle?
Mademoiselle.
You are most precious gift on my eyes. There are more accommodations here than I can extend. But just know that a woman of your stature is most welcome within these walls, and I roll out the red carpet for you. You're looking for a place to dine tonight? You have a gentleman caller, perhaps?
A place to dine that's good nearby would be wonderful.
L'Absinthe is magnificent. It's upper tier restaurant in the neighborhood, only a few blocks away. Magnificent. Frites, mussels, very nice.
Please. Yeah, so she will just try to be able to move up close to him and figure out, do you have a ring? Does he have a ring?
Yes,
Yeah,
you see
his
he's
family
married.
lives upstairs.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything. He could be
Plus,
Yeah,
plus he's French. It's fine.
Oh, that's true. That's true. The wandering divining rods.
She gauges the restaurant from him quickly.
Yeah, Jean-Claude is the head chef at L'Absinthe. It's most excellent cuisine, very reasonable rates. You find it very remarkable. Is a rooftop dining, very rare in city, beautiful views.
Okay, I love that.
He does the whole kisses thing.
Right, yeah.
And
she thanks him with kisses on the cheeks and says, "Absolument, I will have to try this with my friends."
yes, he's polite, but his eyes comb and groom you, and he knows every crater of the moon.
But does he know the? Never mind. Sorry for the yelling. Lillian's watching the game.
There you go. I look at Robin and we ready to review the rooms?
Yes, let's review the rooms.
Yeah, you make your way upstairs. Third floor is the narrow, suffocating staircases. Clearly were built hundreds of years ago by people probably who didn't eat as well as you do. Even the smallest among you feels claustrophobic.
I'm gonna probably be behind Cornell and help him with Blanca's bag through this little tight corridor, because it's probably not very comfortable by any stretch. So.
Bjorn picks up a great deal of dust on his shoulders and head as he makes his way up these narrow confines. He's feeling.
He could dare to take the elevator.
How's that?
That's scarier to him than I think.
You mean the moving sarcophagus?
Yeah, we'll do the stairs. I can always chop through a wall if I need to get out.
You get to the top of a landing, and there's a small portico there with a beautiful plant on a stand looking out a narrow window that probably at an earlier era of the city was probably an arrow slit. It lets in just enough light to keep this plant happy, but not enough oxygen to keep Bjorn from taking gulping breaths.
I can't breathe. That's a psychological reaction, honestly.
You get to your doors, to your rooms. They're fairly adjacent to one another. The two doubles are across the hall. The single is closer to that suffocating window. They're narrow compartments. They do have a window looking out. The beds are modest. The bathrooms are slender. Everything here feels compact, but clean and tidy. Each of the rooms has a fresh plant in it. Looks like there's a candle and a book of matches in each room. There is a mint on the bed itself, not a chocolate. You throw open the shutters, and you do look out directly onto the battlement walls. You can see the masts of the ships in the harbor, but not the ships themselves.
Yeah, I saw the east side though. Yeah.
I mean, we can make this work, but what do you think, Bonnie? Should we swap these out?
I'm gonna go upstairs real quick and see what the windows look out on. I know I can't get through a room, but at least I can look at the far ends. I'll tootle back, spin up one more and walk out and see if I can find any windows that look out over either the harbor or the street side.
You go out back into the stairwell, make your way up. As you're making your way up, a woman is making her way down. She's dressed in a slender, tight-fitting outfit. Shoulders are bare. Looks like it goes about to her knees. She's carrying a picnic basket and looks like a towel or a blanket. Oh, excusez-moi, she says as she comes down.
I will stop. I will retreat back to the previous floor, and I will flag her through.
She steps down your direction. She's attractive enough. Everything's amply projected. She's dressed herself the best way she knows how. She's probably a 6 or a 7 on that scale, but she's dressed herself up to maybe a point or so higher on that just because of the way she knows herself. She smiles. She's got a large mouth and full lips, but when she smiles, it feels very genuine. Excusez-moi, just s'il vous plaît. She drops into a very dense Gallic accent.
Okay. I respond to her in Gallic and say, excusez-moi. It is your way. You can go.
She holds her
good day.
gaze for longer than seems appropriate. You're not sure whether what her situation is, but she lingers in the conversation. You see a shadow cast from up the stairs. You see a bare-chested man with a very woolly, rippling chest making his way down, carrying blankets. He seems to be with her. She demurs as he approaches.
Monsieur?
Apologizes for the delay. And he gruffly grimaces as he comes down. Why did you go ahead of me? We are not late for anything.
I let him pass. I do not draw attention to myself.
His furrowed brow is a constant scowl as he looks at you. He catches up with his companion. You're not sure if it's a wife. You don't see any rings.
Well, they are companions of sorts. I look back at the group and think maybe we don't want to be up there. But I'm going to go up there anyway.
You get to the 4th floor. There is a narrow corridor that allows you to look out on the harbor side. From here, you got a clear view down into the harbor. You can see the sailing vessels out there, a number of private yachts, and beyond that, some of the cargo ships and the loading docks on the far side of the harbor.
Did I see if there's any like balconies or external windows where you could step out on to the decks?
Not in this hotel. They're just windows, no balconies.
Okay. I'm going to go downstairs and I'm like, it's not really worth it. I mean, we get a slightly better view, but I'm going to let that couple have their space. I don't know who else is going to be coming in here, but I'll just let's just stick it out. We're good. I hand the keys.
I'll trust you on that.
Hand the keys over to Cornell and choose
Cornell,
rooms.
your stomach growls a little bit. It's lunchtime, and you guys haven't had anything since you left the airship.
I know where to go.
Did you get a recommendation? Is that what you were talking about?
Yes, he was giving me a good restaurant reservation. I don't know if they're open for lunch as well as dinner, but they could be.
Well, let's go find out.
Yeah. So our contact, what time are we supposed to meet up, or what is the principle there?
We are meeting him at the La Brigantine in the Corsair district. Is Jacques Lamont?
Okay.
In the evening? Is
I
it a
believe
restaurant?
so. Yeah.
Okay.
What is he supposed to do for us, this contact?
If I'm not mistaken, he's one of the members of the Witches of Augustina, and is the one, which is the group that reported the blood prints being here.
Critical intelligence.
Yeah, so he should be able to give us information on the blood prints.
Well, we can.
And maybe they've already figured out his schedule and his route and can tell us when he's going to be off campus. Fingers crossed.
And
Sounds-
do we have any idea what his research is?
Man,
Not
couldn't
really.
even imagine, and really
The
don't
Blood
want to.
Prince? The Blood Prince?
Yeah, well,
I don't
No.
think you want to know his research.
Well, we're supposed to capture his research. I'm wondering, does it fit in a satchel or do we need a truck?
Hmm.
if he can't move quickly with it using his abilities, I'd expect that it's probably pretty sizable.
You're fair. I mean, I'm picturing one man's version of Bordeaux when we went to Bibliothèque du Soleil. I'm picturing something like that for one man.
Perhaps, or special cadavers.
If we can't capture his research, we'll destroy it before leaving.
He's good at that. Points to
That's why he's on the mission.
He doesn't have his Flammenbuscher.
points to the
It's not-
Viking. Oh, shh. That's right.
There's another 10 stick grenades in the car.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, we can pretty much pulverize anything. Mash a lot of potatoes with that one.
Mash a
And
lot
still
of...
have 10 stick grenades in the car.
Yeah. I'll follow your lead, Robin. We've settled our accounts. We put our gear away. Do we want to take a little more time to unpack, or should we just go to eat? Sorry, Cornell.
So hungry.
I'm hungry as well.
Blanca's not hungry, but she's really only acts it well.
What? She's hungry.
She never eats.
Well, she eats. It's just not a lot.
She looks at Blanca to measuring her eyes, like, where is she at?
She's gonna smack.
Fold the piece of paper, stuff it in the book, put it in the bag. Lunch sounds wonderful.
Okay.
So where's this fancy place, Robin? When are we looking forward to?
Allow me. S'il vous plaît. And she leads the way to just ask the maitre d' which way to... What does he say at the end? Strasbourg?
The hotel manager motions to go up the street just off to the left side of the hotel as he gestures outside.
Mhm.
You'll get to a central plaza. You'll see that there's a fountain and kind of a grassy area. Just to the west of that, there is a large complex that contains the building, the Absinthe. Take the elevator to the top floor, and you will be there.
Oh, I see.
You know, the Icenians are known for their fine cuisine.
This is
That's why
far
they
more...
left their island. You know that's the secret. I learned this in history. They left the island because they had shit to eat.
I was being serious. I think it's excellent.
I just want to sink my teeth into a pastry. It has been a very, very long time.
That's
move on.
dessert on the return. Lead the way, but yeah, I'm mindful of like anybody watching us too much beyond just the regular tourist traffic too.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of foot traffic here. Lots of looky-loos. You move past little curiosity shops. There's a fair amount of mediocre stuff that can be purchased that is reminiscent of the seaside environment. You pass by a shop that pays homage to the pirate history here. Somebody's carved wooden totems that look like pirate ships. You can buy hats that are reminiscent of that period.
Eye patches? Are there eye patches?
Yeah, you can buy a crappy eye patch and a pirate hat if it suits your needs.
I may actually, well, I'll find a crappy one, but if there's a leather one, I'll even double down on a leather one that's got, a studded strap or anything like that. If anything like that shows up, I'll buy the cheap one right now, but I'll upgrade later.
You are on foot as you make your way up a little bit of an incline in the direction indicated. As you're going up the street, down the street, you see that there is a small, you're guessing gas-powered tricycle that looks like it's got confections and so forth in the back.
For sale?
Looks like the driver's got the motorcycle grips as he's making his way down the street. He looks like he's focused on getting somewhere. The group of you are blocking the walkway. He slows and puts on the brakes and puts his feet down, waiting for you to clear the walk or clear the drive area. Young lad, probably in his late teens.
Get out of his way.
Where's the bakery at? As she's coming up.
He's set production, period piece, he says. They are hungry.
Nod and back up.
He fires up the 3-stroke engine and motors past you, headed north. You reach the Fountain Plaza as described. Look west towards a 5, maybe 6-story building. You can see the loft area, which is the restaurant. You see a few market umbrellas on the roof. Foot traffic is mild through here. There's a couple of cars parked. Every parking place you've seen in here is occupied.
All reserved.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You cross the area, enter through some double glass doors. They're about 20 feet tall. Only 10 of it is doorway. The rest is glass. Into a little airy lobby. Looks like it's got access to apartments, but there are 2 elevators. One that indicates the La Absinthe, and the other one has the numbers for apartments.
Rush to push the button.
You also see there's a menu at the bottom pasted next to the elevator for the Absinthe. Absolutely, it is Gallic cuisine.
That's what I thought.
Just kind of measure up the size of this elevator. Does it seem a little bigger?
Oh, God, in comparison to the elevator you took in your own hotel, this thing is a grand palace.
Okay. Just checking.
It can handle Bjorn.
I don't want anybody to be too claustrophobic and die.
I'll take my own car. You all ride up, and I will watch and see if anybody hurries to get on board with you.
This is a cargo elevator. It's plenty of room.
You talk too much, Robin. Perhaps if your mouth was full more often.
The door open to the elevator. There is an attendant within. Inside is a man and a woman. Looks like they're kind of locked in a mild embrace. The doors open. They diminish their amour towards each other and start out. Robin, you're struck that the woman in front of you looks very familiar. Perception.
I'm kind of trying to do my math. No, never mind. 17 plus 8 is 25.
This looks like Marianne.
Oh my god.
The man standing next to her is probably 7-8 years her senior. The two of them just are decoupled from an amorous embrace. She's laughing giddily and exits the elevator.
I am not able to do anything other than just stand there. So there's that.
She clasps his arm up by the bicep, and the group of you kind of bump into each other. He, in a deep Gallic accent, excusez-moi, and she looks up from this and freezes like she saw a ghost.
I turn to the left, like off to the side a bit, and
Robin?
Marianne?
She lets go his arm and steps forward, but doesn't embrace you. She stops, her feet glued to the floor. Robert?
Kind of similar. I'm just like staring at her. Uh,
Uh,
okay, she goes and initiates a light embrace. Gives the kisses to the cheeks. Marianne, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here? I'm on my honeymoon. What? How? What? I didn't know you were even alive. I went to. We investigated the orphanage. They said you were gone, and she rattles off all kinds of addresses and back history, and
She's flagging behind her back, like to anyone else, like go to the elevator. Like
I
I
I look
I
at
did not know.
Cornell for additional instructions.
I looked at Cornell for additional instructions.
Blanca shoves the group
There's-
of you into the elevator. They need some time.
Somebody
there-
should be watching her back.
Is there a chair somewhere in this little lobby area?
There's a bench with a padded seat cover for 2, 3 if you push it.
Yeah, it'll fit one Bjorn. I'll plop down on it,
Two cheeks.
fire up a cigarette, and watch these two. I have no idea who Marianne is, but this looks vulnerable.
Yeah. I see Bjorn take position, and I relax, and I let myself be ushered into the elevator.
I
The attendant pushes the button as you guys escalate. How? What?
so I'm just here on vacation, but no, I moved out of the orphanage at 18. Auntie didn't say anything about it. The graduation.
Auntie has passed. She wells up a little bit. She died last fall. She succumbed to pneumonia. I had managed to introduce her to Robert, but her health was in great decline, and I have her blessing, but that is all. She is gone.
Look at you. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Robin Durand. It's good to make your acquaintance, Robert. I'm Marianne's sister.
He takes your hand and pulls you in, goes for the kiss, and then realizes he does the 3-cheek kiss. I am Robert Levine. This is my wife, Marianne Durand Levine.
It's been a long time since I've seen her, but you look good on her.
He smiles. He's a handsome man, a little waifish, but he dresses cut above the average citizen.
No worse than Danny. I mean,
What, wayfish? Fine.
where are you living now? So are you in Paris or where are you?
No. Robert has a
Chateau.
he has a vineyard not far from, let's see, La Rochelle.
La Rochelle. Think back about fantasies.
It's not far across the border from Icenia Sud. This seems like a reasonable distance to travel for a holiday or a honeymoon.
Mm-hmm. I am in Genf normally, and I'm not gallivanting around.
The Mother Superior said that you had left a year ago, perhaps less. You are doing some government work, but
A bit.
you are making regular contributions. So I knew you were still alive, but she had no forwarding address. she did receive regular stipends from you.
She reaches into her purse and starts just she pulls out her little journal, starts feverishly writing down her, address in Genf, and starts scribbling it down and her phone number to Genf, and tears it out. I had no idea. She gives it to her in her hands and clasps them tightly. How long are you here?
We have been here 3 days. I expect we will be here another 3, 4. She winks at her husband. If all goes well. She leans in close to you and whispers into your ear. You will be expecting a niece or a nephew within 6 months.
She squeezes her tighter waist. A few.
Oh, we lost him.
Yep.
She starts. I just start tearing up. I step back. I look at her. So happy. Give there in lower. Gives her paper and the pencil she always has.
You are staying nearby?
Yes, a hotel nearby. I remember the name. Trying to be able to get the coast with some friends. Looks over my shoulder for a split second towards the giant Viking in the corner.
He
Looks back
is
to her.
scowling at you.
Doesn't acknowledge.
Marianne looks like a smaller, rounder version of Robin. Not as cut and chiseled, not as weathered by life, but more embraced by comforts and pillows. It's what Robin would look like if she had not had such a harrowing upbringing.
Harrowing. Well done. She
Good to know. Scowl, scowl, scowl.
she does pull out the necklace from their mother, and it is good to know the family is still here, and soon we'll have a granddaughter.
Marianne's emotions overwhelm her and she gushes, tears rolling down her cheeks. Her new husband grips her closely. Are you okay, my dear? Of course, I'm just overwhelmed. I have not seen my sister since. And she falls into a bawling fit. Can't even reclaim the math.
like 10 years. What the? I don't even know.
We have only a few blocks from here. We are staying at the Golden Tulip. If you find opportunity, I would love to have lunch with you. Perhaps tea.
I will call on you. Absolutely.
She's shaking visibly, tremors rolling through her body. Her husband is now protecting her a little bit more than feels comfortable to you. So
Yeah, like kind of
he's
like
your
almost like a
sister.
kind of. Yeah, I know, but he's kind of like the controller, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. She excuses her overwhelming emotions and extends an invitation to connect with you soon.
Okay. She pats Robert on the arm and gives him an extra devotional, like take care of my little sister, 3 pecks, and with extra intent. And
He gives you the appropriate greeting for someone of the family status, but he's now a little standoffish and a bit confused.
that's what, yeah, and I know because he doesn't know, and so she just moves in, kind of like the more to like say, like not to say I'm overwhelming him, but just saying that you're so welcome. I'm so happy.
He seems to be oblivious of the impending child.
Well, hence the whisper. Yes. She gives Marianne another tight squeeze and holds on a little bit longer than she means to because it's been years. I'm so happy. She whispers into her ear. So happy.
She grips your hand and squeezes harder than probably is comfortable for either of you. You release your embrace, and then she tears herself away into her husband's arms.
Tear myself away to the button on the elevator and push it and just kind of like hook over it like I'm waiting for them to go.
Bjorn, you follow?
I'll follow. Are they leaving the building?
Mm-hmm. They're headed out to the street towards the open plaza that you just came in from.
I'm going to stay on the sofa and light another cigarette.
Flame catches the herb. It alights in a whiff of smoke. Robin stands in the elevator. The two of you are 20-foot distant at best. The air's thick between you.
I'm going to wave at her like that and walk out onto the street. I want to see where these two went.
You go up, Robin?
I'm holding the door. I don't want to go up alone.
The attendant standing inside the elevator.
The attendant. That's true. This is those days. I
Madame?
step outside. I step outside the door. Compulsory.
You step out. He pulls the accordion shield closed.
Doesn't say anything.
The elevator rises. The light disappears. Bjorn, you work your way out to the street. You hear the accordion close behind you. You give a glance back and see Robin is standing in the lobby behind you. You're following the couple outside. He appears to be in his early 30s. She in her early 20s.
Just shove my hands in my pocket, look at them underneath the hood of my hoodie, and keep a distance from them. I just want to see where they go. Bjorn is incredibly paranoid on this mission. We've got a university of magic. The city in his mind is just overflowing with wizards. We've got the Prince of the Blood Prince, darkness at every corner and echelon. Nothing is as it seems.
Hey, don't explain. Robin, like, rational back of her mind, she's like thinking this is smart, but here, like, is overwhelmed. She just stands there waiting.
The pair of them move out into the street. They don't go towards the Plaza Park with the fountain. They turn left as they move outside. They stand briefly and hold a little congress between the two of them. You see that he's holding her hands. She's letting him, two of them engage in some conversation. She pries one hand loose to wipe some tears during the conversation. Eventually, she kind of recovers herself emotionally. The two of them embrace. She points up towards the rooftop and then northward up the street, and the two of them start walking in that direction.
Are they holding hands as they walk?
Yes, they feel to you as new lovers.
Just stay at the corner where I am and watch them until I can't see them anymore.
They travel 3.5 blocks still in your view before they turn left. The indication you heard from the conversation was that they were headed towards a place called the Golden Tulip Hotel. You don't see any hotels on this strip. It's kind of merchant area, a few light restaurants or cafes.
But more than anything, I was waiting to see if they were going to meet with a third party or get a pickup vehicle. If I don't see any of that, I'll head back in toward the elevator.
They appear to be on foot and headed to their destination in such fashion.
Robin appears to be in that same bench where you left. She's gathering herself. She's solid by the time that you walk in. She's just, like looks up.
Stab the button savagely 6 or 7 times. Scowl at her. What are you thinking?
What am I thinking?
How do you know that was even your sister?
Well,
how do you know it's not the doppelganger created by the evil wizard that we are here to find?
Um, I don't know. She smelled and looked like my sister.
No, the one you haven't seen in 10 years. I'm sure it was her then if she smelled like your sister.
All right then. So what about this soldier who pretended to be someone in your unit? I'm
Do
sure
you
that
see me hugging him, bringing him back to my
I don't know
friends?
what the fuck you
No,
did with him. I don't know what you. What would you do with your brother?
I don't have a
You'd
brother.
probably knock him out.
I think you're being reckless. That is what I think. Stab, stab,
I
stab, stab.
I
Not
was
you, the
certainly
butt.
not expecting what I was not expecting what happened. I haven't seen I haven't seen her 10 years.
He has that effect on people.
Uh,
Exactly. She's a stranger.
Why do you think I waved you all to leave?
Did you tell her the name of your hotel?
No. Or perhaps you didn't notice that in your espionage.
My espionage.
The same fucking thing. I appreciate it. No, I didn't give name of my hotel. I said I'm staying at a hotel in town. And I'm here on vacation. She's here for a honeymoon, and I believe that she's absolutely legitimate.
I hope you're correct. And now
do-
I starve.
You always starve. For one thing or
Yes.
another.
I do. There are very, very, very bad things in this city. I can feel it. It's everywhere.
Did you do your sacrifice, or did you do your proper Tuesday
Nothing
ritual?
nothing is a coincidence. Everything has meaning. The sky is going to fall on us any moment.
She starts laughing. She's had this emotional roller coaster. She just starts, I mean, like completely unladylike, inappropriate.
Well, and as he talks, he fingers one of his grenades.
Doesn't stop her from laughing.
See if we can rejoin our friends for lunch.
Cornell, you and the others arrive at the top floor. There is a small a small stand there, a number of menus stacked on it. A slender woman of waifish form, looks a lot like Blanca with darker features. You have a reservation?
No reservation.
Perhaps I can find something for you. One moment.
Thank you.
Near the lavatory.
She has thick eyebrows and probably has to shave a little bit to get rid of that mustache. But she's a beautiful girl.
just a little rich.
In
She's
the
got
right light.
a little overactive hormones in the hair department, but that gives her full flowing hair, very defined features. She disappears quickly through a pair of I'm going to call them French doors, but we'll call them Clovian doors.
As soon as she walks out, I mean, we've been sitting in silence in that elevator for a bit when we got to the top.
Mhm.
And I'm going to lean forward as soon as we exit. We have, have some air around us, and lean forward to Cornell and say, I will help you however I can, but what just happened downstairs, that's going to be a problem.
I don't know much about Robin's backstory or who this Marianne is, so I'm gonna have some questions.
It's a variable that is completely out of our control, and it just brings civilians to the party that we don't want anybody else to join.
That's a very good point.
Anyway.
Hopefully it doesn't cause a problem, but I can see how it might.
Just we gotta they can meet after all of this is done.
Yeah. Blanca, has Robin said anything about what was her name? Meredith? Mary.
Marianne. Yes, she talks about her more than is healthy for somebody who hasn't been seen in more than a decade. This was the root of much of Robin's distress. The two of them were sisters, separated. One was raised by her aunt, and I'm guessing somewhere in Colombia. And Robin, being the more senior and the more robust, was relinquished to the orphanage because her aunt could not take care of her. Marianne was raised by the aunt, where Robin grew up in an orphanage.
You see.
I don't know if they've seen each other. They've not corresponded that I'm aware of, but this is an old bond and an unfortunate timing.
Yeah, yes it is. Well, we'll see how Robin is when she meets back up with us.
Bjorn said,
Excusez-moi, says the waifish, dark-haired girl with the furrowed brow. I have a place for you if you wish to sit and eat.
That'd be fantastic. Thank you.
Is it a place for 6? We have 2 more joining us.
She doesn't break her stride as she motions towards an open-air rooftop. She's got a impish figure, broader shoulders, narrow hips, flat chest, but her face is cut and angular in a way that is attractive and dangerous at the same time. The hair on her arms is almost as robust as that on her head.
That's a Central Valley girl.
She takes you out to a long table on a rooftop. You can smell the salt, briny air blowing across the rooftops. You can make out the harbor, and you've got a little bit of a view northward towards the ocean, though there are too many buildings between you and there to have a clean view. There are candles set at the table. There are a few other couples and groups out here, but you've got privacy if you want it.
This looks nice.
Yeah. Do we have well, just let the woman know when our 2 companions show up, a man and a woman. Can you send them our way?
She unfolds from her breast a number of menus. She hands them out to the table. You see her going to claim a few more.
She's very stern.
A male with a coiffed hair and a nice apron comes your direction, holding a bottle, looks like from another table. It hasn't been uncorked yet. Would the gentleman care for a beverage?
Which gentleman?
The gentleman.
Oh, I guess Blanca's with you, right?
Yep.
He pulls the chair out for
I was
Blanca.
going to say, what a douchebag.
A gentleman and lady.
It is unbecoming for women to drink. You might be confused with a prostitute.
She is wearing the lipstick.
Yeah.
He pulls out the chair for Blanca. This is a fine vintage. If there is another that you would prefer, I can fetch another from the cellar.
Is it a red?
She looks at the bottle, motions for him to uncork it.
Wait, is it a red? Is it a red?
These are red.
Okay. Yeah. I concur. I look over at Blanca and wink.
He's like, I'm so ready to just sit down. I don't care what it is. It is the nearest bottle.
That's right. She intentionally sipped at champagne earlier, or sparkling wine, I guess.
Was it made in Russia? Sorry.
You get settled at the table. It is a perfect night. The sun is low on the horizon. You're It
Isn't
casts
it lunchtime?
shadows. What's that?
Yeah.
Isn't it
It's
lunchtime?
Late?
it's probably
Oh.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, it's an afternoon sun. You're right, and it's breezy up here. It's just a perfect environment for a late lunch.
Or early dinner.
Oh no, we're
Hey,
gonna
big
have
fan.
dinner still. We're gonna
Oh
have
yeah.
dinner still.
Oh yeah, we are.
Well, we're going to drink there anyway.
Drink dinner. You
The
got it.
elevator rises and deposits Robin and Bjorn. You're greeted by a twig of a woman with dark hair and dark eyes. Are you joining a party, or is it just the two of you?
We're with a party. A man, 2 men and a woman. I mean, yes.
She looks annoyed, turns and walks away from you, but you kind of get the idea you should follow her.
Right. You know, it's like French service. You don't expect a tip, do you?
Can
Damn
I
it, it's
help
built into
you?
the check.
Can I help you? I just
Is
can
it
I
one or two?
point you to your
One or two?
Yeah, exactly. I point you to your table. It's over there. Thank you very much.
Ugh.
He deposits the menus in the remaining open chairs with a supermodel's disdain.
She's got no chest. Anyway, just take note and sit down.
She has. You don't need to have bosoms to be attractive. She is attractive. She's
Is-
just
is-
dour.
there
Look, I'm a woman. I've
particular
judged. Okay, I've
chair
judged. It's already
at the
done.
table that has a better view of the whole restaurant and the
She's actually
approaches.
given you a nice table out near the end. It's close to the street where you first entered. You don't have, I mean, if you walk to the edge and look down, you could look at the street where you came into the building.
No, thank you.
I want to
Well,
read what's going on with Bjorn right now. Go
What I
ahead.
want is a spot at the table where I can see the way into the restaurant and
From
as
the-
much of the restaurant as I can. And if one of my friends is already in that chair, I'm going to ask them to move.
But you don't have the perception. You don't have the perception. Sorry.
Bjorn, you're a little conflicted because the seat you're looking for is the closest to the drop off to the edge of the building.
I just won't look in that direction.
And
See-
thus it won't be there.
You
Is
pull
it-
up the Godfather chair at the head of the table, looking back towards the restaurant.
Pull my Ragnar and drape my napkin over it, but keep it in my lap.
Oh, okay. I pat the table. Bjorn, is there something you want to tell us? What did you see that's putting you into this place? What are you thinking?
Nothing. Everything is fine.
Yeah,
I
fine.
want the vodka.
Like you got beamed by a sniper shot. Oh, just a couple of days ago. What? What's going on?
Robin looks to Cornell, waits till there's eye contact exchanged. So you would be the least person who probably knows. So I haven't had my sister in 10 years, and unbelievably, she's actually here on her honeymoon.
She's a doppelganger.
What?
Oh, everything lights up. I now understand what I'm dealing with.
No. Don't believe she's that. Anyway, she legitimately seems to be my little sister, and she is staying at the Golden Tulip. I did not disclose where we are staying, and I'm simply here on vacation. She's here for a few more nights. I won't let it interfere with the mission.
A wizard masquerading as your sister. The way Blanca does.
And I think that our Norman needs more vodka. No, maybe not.
I don't think so. Yeah, don't give him more. That might.
Did you give Marianne any other info that she should have yet?
No, that's why I was waving you away. She was overcome as I was by discovering that her sister was here. That's all. I
do a glance over to Bjorn to see if he's agreeing with what Robin's telling me. That
Bjorn's not looking at either one of you. He's looking at the entrance to the outdoor patio, wherever monsters and evil and wizards and echelon are going to come stumbling out any minute. And you do hear a tap, tap, tap. That's the barrel of his Ragnar nervously tapping against the underside of the table.
Oh my God. I look across the city and I say, tell me about all of the sniper nests that you see, Bjorn. Look out there.
You can laugh if you want to.
We one or two, maybe three right now.
Blanca, are you not able to change your appearance into somebody else and masquerade?
Making myself look like someone specific is very hard. Someone non-specific is very easy.
If you were a master demon wizard of blood prince lines, you could do it.
Why would they give a fuck about me or even know about Marianne?
And Benny, do we not know that doppelgangers exist?
They do, but the one that we ran into was an
There
absolute.
is no but. There is, yes, they exist. Do we not know that the echelon knows that there is a reason to be in this city?
Bjorn, if your point is that I should not make contact with my sister I haven't seen in 10 years, I understand this is more important.
I think that we are not on holiday.
I'm aware of that. Do you think I fucking arranged for her to be stepping out of the elevator at that moment and to be flustered?
Robin, why do you think this is all about you?
It was my
accuse me
sister?
of arrogance. I think that we have been engaged in rather sloppy operational procedures. And when the shit hits the fan, which will probably happen within the next few seconds,
Okay,
coming out of that restaurant.
stop. Okay, look, Norman, stop. First off, the very first thing that I did was to usher everyone to go into the fucking elevator and to get away so there could be no visual in case. Next, before that, you made contact with some war veteran, which no one was around, but I was sitting out front waiting for you to appear. Sorry. Not sorry.
Let's just decide here. The thing is that Marianne becomes a liability as soon as she gets involved in mission parameters.
I didn't tell her where we are. Yes.
It doesn't matter. The thing is that if you can arrange a meet after we are done with this, because if she gets in the crossfire, that's the last thing I want is for you to lose a person who you lost how many years ago. This is the key.
Yes, I know. No, I'm with you. I did the exact same thing for protection. I gave her my address in Ganth, and I got her address in La Rochelle. And in fact, all I simply want to know is contact information after her honeymoon's over.
Good. If you do see her again, keep it brief. Say that things are a little hectic. Just we need to minimize this.
Yes,
you now
she
know
knows
your sister lives.
Yes, I know. Yes, that's wonderful to know. Simply that. No, she knows from the headmistress at the orphanage only that I work for the government, as it was arranged. It's good.
That's awkward.
No, I work for Burgundia. It's the cover story that many of us have, who originally recruited with Nachtrichter, not Nachtrichter.
A slender waiter makes his way to your table, which also raises everybody's hackles. I am Paulo. I will be your server tonight. Have you had a chance to look at the menus?
Escargot.
Woodcock.
Escargot.
Escargot. He marks it down.
What was that,
Would you
Bjorn?
like a recommendation?
Woodcock.
Vodka.
Cheese.
Cheese plates, of course.
Sausages.
Sausages. He points to you. He winks. Very good. Sausages.
Pot pie. Roast beef.
He starts making a long list.
Gravy. And vodka.
That's two. One on the front, one on the back.
No, 2 bottles.
If there's anything left in back after that, braised
So we have to
chicken,
wash it
The
down.
escargot for you, sir. And you,
braised
sir?
chicken, and capers.
Ah, you are. Yes. He looks at you, and you see him squint a little longer, and then shake his head.
I cover my face a little bit and just lean into this and think, oh shit, not already. We're blowing it on all fronts.
Now he turns to you. Do you have something in particular, or can I make a recommendation?
What do you have?
Fritas and mussels. Magnificent.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
And an arrangement of pastries. Just cream filled, chocolate filled, or just
after the
some
main
croissants.
course.
Of course, but also with the meal.
Blanca orders a lobster bisque with a side of truffle.
Whatever those expensive items are.
I am totally gonna try that truffle on when it.
Well, you know
when
you
it-
will, because she's not going to eat it.
No, she's not gonna eat it, but I'll just like fork it and tear a piece off because I have not had an actual piece of truffle.
What'll be
So-
great is like both you and Cornell will both be doing the exact same thing at the same time. Oh yeah, you're going to have that. Oh,
The waiter departs.
He
You see one of the what looks like maybe just a steward or attendant in the restaurant move some of the market umbrellas around to offer a little better shade. He excuses himself profusely as he gives you guys a little bit of relief from the afternoon sun.
and we're scowling at him.
I drop the next thing, which is I think I've been made. Already somebody or seems to maybe have recognized me, but I don't know yet. I guess my books got up here, so we'll see if that becomes a problem too.
Do you mean the waiter?
Yeah, he was looking me over. If he calls it out, I'm just gonna say I'll leave him a good review. That's it.
Why would you assume it's your book and not that he likes boys?
Well, he didn't touch me gently on the inner thigh. Usually
Is
that's
that
a
the
sign
signal?
to me. That's a
Wait,
sign
I've always
to me.
wanted to know, is that the signal? Okay.
Blanca,
What?
you should be checking for magic all the time.
She reaches over and squeezes your knee. It'll be okay. I'm monitoring the situation.
Try not to squeeze off a shot.
Jordan? I'm on point. You can stand down.
Was that her sister in the lobby?
It was not magic.
What about that waiter?
He's a typical asshole in a tourist town.
Keep checking.
Poor Cornell.
She slides a napkin ring onto your thumb. This is not a marriage proposal, but it is an offering for you to take a step down. You're not on guard.
You
Well,
know,
not
someone
to the
is
point
going
where
to
the
say, I sure wish Bjorn had been on guard.
Can you not be cocked and ready to shoot with half an inch? I mean,
I don't operate anything with half an inch,
Got a good point there.
except this napkin ring.
The waiter returns about 10 minutes later with some appetizers. Looks like they're part of the assembly. They've got some melted cheese on bread, some kind of a strange garlicky dipping sauce,
it
and
better be brie.
something that smells of the ocean.
I am going to sample. I watch for what Blanca reaches for first, and then I'm gonna take seconds on whatever that is.
Smart man.
Follow the
You see
taste.
her pick out something from the dish that looks a lot like a scallop. She uses her bare fingers, plops it into her mouth, and massages it for an unhealthy period of time.
Does she moan while she does that?
You better ask Cornell.
Depends on her mood.
It always depends on her mood.
I look at the same thing and look at it. I probably recognize what it is. Is it a scallop?
It's a scallop.
But it's just
woven
really
in with something that's got a texture, a little bit of crunch. There's that ocean brine and something cheesy. The whole thing just adds up to a melange in your mouth that erupts as satisfaction.
melts in your mouth.
Yes. There's a red wine on the table, but the bottle of white wine adjacent to it seems more appropriate to wash it all down.
Doesn't matter. I'm drinking red.
Okay. Robin knows her nature.
I will lean towards the white for the seafood.
The dining on the rooftop is an elegant experience. Even though this is not a highbrow experience, the food is delicious. The place of your dining is exquisite. The view, though not super grand, allows you a nice breeze. You feel like you're on a holiday, which is unsettling to most of you.
You know what that means.
I'm leaning into this and I'll just whisper out loud to the table. It's the calm before the storm. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. And I
Do
look
I have
at
any
Bjorn.
morphine syrettes?
What?
Oh, I want to know if I have any morphine syrettes.
Did you leave them in your other bag?
If nothing else, I've seen my sister, and she's a woman, and she is going to at least carry on the Durand. That is something for me to celebrate, if nothing else. Cheers.
If she is your sister.
She is my sister.
Doppelganger?
Yeah. As Blanca said, she would have to do one hell of an imitation, even though I admit that I haven't seen her since 2 years before my graduation from the Harrowed Gods Orphanage.
If she was a doppelganger, she wouldn't show up as being magical. Yes? No?
I'm with Bjorn on this one.
No.
Sorry, Robin.
Hmm.
I'm not saying it wasn't your sister.
And I still have a problem with that waiter. Something very fishy about him.
Wait, did he touch your inner thigh?
He comes back to refill your drink.
Is he missing fingers? No.
He's suspiciously on time to refill your glass every time it gets low.
That
See,
guy.
That's psychic powers. That's right there. That's our problem.
He wants a tip, doesn't he?
Tap, tap, tap. Don't
There
mock
are
me.
no tips. We're in Europe.
Cornell, you've been getting pretty good service since you've been here, and your relationship with alcohol has been off and on over the years, and you've managed to keep it under control for the last 6 months, 8 months. But it feels really good to just kind of let go a little bit here. The pressure of command, the responsibilities, they weigh really heavily upon you. And those bottles look like an escape avenue.
I'm going to be eating some seafood. That white wine's going to go great. It'd almost be a crime not to have a glass.
You make sure you ration the food equal to your liquor intake.
I try.
That's a thing?
Yes, Bjorn, that's a thing.
3 shots, 1 sausage. 3 shots.
That's great.
You look around the table at your fellows that are gathered here, knowing your history, pondering the future. These are the moments you've imagined for years. When you were back fixing boat engines in that shitty little harbor town, this was maybe part of that aspiration. And you had consumed a lot of libations on your path to dreaming your way here, but the reality desires some form of celebration. Those bottles that Bjorn is working his way through feel like a great way to celebrate.
Bjorn, I don't want to mock you saying that we're about to step into the shit show, but why don't you pour a shot for me?
Don't even hesitate. Pour him like half a water glass.
Whoa. Well, can we at least toast to
Well, I'm
my little
holding that.
sister?
Well, we'll toast.
Okay.
I don't think there's full agreement around the table on that, but I do want to toast to the people here.
I can toast to that.
Everybody raises a glass. Bjorn, you feel a little hand on your knee, squeezing tight like a crab claw.
Is it someone that I recognize, or is it a little fucking demon under the table?
At first, you imagine some demon crawling up from under the table. It's ready to clip off your leg at the knee. You look over and see Blanca's face, stern, looking at you, and you realize that the demon is one you already know.
Or is it?
Well, the devil you know.
Yeah, I'm really feeling like this PTSD is kicking into overdrive. Seeing the guy from his unit, all the shit that he imagines going on in this city and on this mission, he's not dealing with it very well. Yeah.
Well,
Drink, more, Bjorn.
Hey,
Bjorn.
to each of you, to a great lunch spot. Stay safe.
Safety and Marianne.
I sip at the white wine and grab another one of those lovely mussels. Well, not mussels, scallops. Pop it in my mouth. And I look around the table to see everybody's mood, because everything feels really off with this group. Everybody is like sparking all sorts of different signals.
Yeah,
Right
I mean, Robin feels elated, even if she's not going to see her sister again. Like, she's very happy inside right now. That's very odd.
Benny, the scallop melts inside your mouth with buttery flavor, ocean brininess, a little touch of lemon, and thoughts of distress melt away.
Hmm. Sip at the wine.
Perfect.
Is there just kind of a fuzzy boundary between me and everybody else right now? I mean, right now I feel kind of separate, but I can't pull that far back because this is Cornell's first and I want to make sure it's successful. So if I start to wander, I sharpen up as best I can.
You switch to water, you pour yourself a tall glass, drink it down, trying to dilute the liquor that is flowing through your veins. It's not deep.
Yeah.
But it definitely breaks the trance.
Yeah, because I didn't go too deep on the wine. Probably a glass or half a glass. So
you look across the top of your water glass over at Bjorn, and he looks like a demon. He's consumed enough liquor, and he's carrying enough demons. He's a powder keg, and you've seen him before like this, but not with such a wild fuse.
Oh no, not at all.
Well, I see him staring at me, and I lean forward and stage whisper at him. How do we know that this, put the pistol away and gesture with my free hand,
Thank you.
this isn't all a hallucination induced by magic from the blood prince while we sit complacently in his chambers and he harvests our souls to sacrifice to a demon? How do you know that that is not happening right now?
I lean forward and look across from him, and I push my plate out. I set my hands out in front of me, and I look at Blanca and I say, how can we prove to Bjorn that we are not under some irrational control? How can we teach us how to push past this if there was obfuscation or if there was some sort of boundary? I know it has something to do with just willing to see different things. I mean, what does it take? Because I think if everything's an illusion, we should be able to peer through it at some point. I don't know how.
What farcical thing has taken place? I'm sorry. You saw a veteran near the Norman border, and I saw my sister.
It's not about that. We are in the lion's den. There's
Push
a
the
school of
vodka
magic.
away. I can't drink any more of this.
Probably shouldn't.
It's clearly poisoned because I can't understand a word that Vanny is saying.
I
What language is that?
clap really loud to get everybody to just shock. And I say, look closely around you. Just
Push my snout back in.
You mean the bear snout that was coming out?
Yeah. Don't scare me like that.
look around. What do you see? Will to disbelieve. Say these illusions need to fade away, and I want you to push back on it. How does that work? Blanca, you're going to have to give me some idea.
She stands up from her seat next to Bjorn. She reaches out towards the water vessel at the center of the table. She takes the well water and lifts it up. It's about half full. She tips it on its side and runs it down the length of the table. You see it quickly bleed into the tablecloth and spread across. Doesn't drip down off the sides. It's enough to just soak the tabletop. She puts a hand down on the cloth and she mutters something incomprehensible. And she raises her hand up and you see a little bit of mist follow with it as she pulls the moisture up. I push forth so that we may all see what is real and what is not on a even keel. Magic, if you are in our presence, be dispelled. And much like she does when she casts that illusion of invisibility for a group, she brings her hand up to the other and claps. And you see the water droplets drop to the table, and you see kind of a golden dust move in each direction. And as it passes your drinks and your food and the table itself, you see everything kind of wash in a wave where it, for a moment, wavers and then passes. Did anyone here see anything change in its visage or countenance?
I am not sure.
Study the table, study our immediate surroundings.
I look at
Grasp.
people.
Yeah, I'm looking at the other people and grasping the amulet.
She's looking directly at Bjorn.
I got a 29 on my will save. I'm not convinced that she's strong enough to defeat the Blood Prince and his evil hallucinogenic magic.
And you're still not convinced.
So what do I see in the restaurant?
You see her moving through her ritual. You've seen her cast Dispel Magic before, and that is the one spell in her repertoire that comforts you.
That's the one I was hoping for.
As it makes its way across the table using its quake-style magic to emanate out, you watch it bounce across all of the crystal and the plates and the food outwards to the restaurant, out to about 25 or 30 feet. But you're not convinced that at the edge of that spell there isn't some darker magic lingering.
35 feet away, of course.
But here amongst us and those you suspect,
There is a sanctity in this moment that cannot be penetrated by the magic dangers just outside. But you can't ignore the danger just beyond the balcony.
Well, and Bjorn's going to continue to struggle with the oath that he made to Cornell and his own inner demons. And he'll just continue to not understand whatever language that Banny is speaking and wonder if all this time maybe Robin is the doppelganger. We'll find that out later.
He's shaken from his disturbing fantasies by the appearance of Paulo, who's looking to see if anybody would require anything more for this evening. You see him holding a leather tablet with some kind of billfold inside.
did we get the pastries? I haven't had the
It
pastries.
looks like the bill for the evening.
As long as we had the pastries.
Just rotate so that I can take out his kneecap if I need to.
If Bjorn starts moving that direction, I put a hand out to pat him on the leg and say, just a bit. Who's got the bill?
Right here.
As you would take the billfold into your hand, you see a man with his hair pulled back into a ponytail, wearing what looks like a chef's coat and soft shoes, make his way out onto the patio, your direction. He gets to the table and bows to the table. I am Jean-Claude. I am hoping you had an enjoyable evening. Did you enjoy your dinners?
Absolutely. Jean.
C'est magnifique.
Fantastic.
He looks up towards Robin. You see a little hint of a smile curl at the edge of his mouth. He's not an attractive man, but when he smiles, he is triple.
Lights up.
Triple unattractive or
Triple
triple?
attractive. He's got charisma, though he's kind of frumpy and a little scarred. He's a little heavier. He's not an attractive man, but his aura, his presence speaks volumes way beyond his visage.
He's got the moxie. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you took me home.
You like? No? I try so much to imbue, and he goes off on many Gallic words to kind of layer up all of the assembly of the food that was brought out to you. The plate that you had ordered felt specifically crafted for your palate.
Of course. Yeah. She compliments the artistry and says how it makes her think of the finest places, in Paris that she hasn't been.
He waves off the compliment, tries to wave it out of the air like too much smoke. You are too kind. You are too kind. I am only happy to please. Thank you for visiting Labs and Tea. And if you can visit us again in the future, perhaps other magical moments await you.
He said magic.
Yep. Yeah. As he walks away, it's like I look around and it's like, we got to get the fuck out of here.
Agreed.
Let's get
I flip open the billfold and see the damage.
You're
Hoarding.
it's not as bad as you had imagined. You're still trying to do a little bit of the conversion in your head. Fortunately, you've already moved your monetary exchange to the appropriate environment. But Icenian money spends as easily as others. So You look into the number of quinn for this meal, and it's 30 quinn.
Wow,
Shit.
not bad.
And we had wine and vodka?
Mhm.
Now you know that there's something bad going on.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous for me.
Witchcraft.
Absolutely. I am in absolute agreement with Bjorn at this point.
Hold
think-
judgment till we go somewhere else.
I
but-
think I could live here and be okay with whatever.
I know. I can retire my ass here. I'm good.
He pulls from behind his back a small plate of seared olives, sets them down in front of you. Each of them has a toothpick adjacent to them. Yeah, perhaps this will carry the savory for you into the evening.
I looked at Blanca.
She reaches out, bypasses the toothpick, plucks one like she's taking an egg from a robin's nest.
Yeah, but did she cast Dispel Magic or Detect Magic?
You see that there's a mix of dark and green olives in the little plate, but they all have a little bit of char on them, and you can see that they're shining with oil.
Man, I'm gonna take a green one.
Robin goes green.
And a black one. There's
Oh.
probably plenty. I savor them in order, but I look over at Bjorn.
I don't eat poisoned olives.
I don't either, personally. You can bear it for the rest
They're
of
the
us.
devil's testicles.
Does that mean I can have yours?
That
Oh,
is
it's not
certainly the
testicles.
kind of thing a doppelganger would say.
Wait, do you want his testicles?
Both of them.
Let's adjourn from this place and let's head back to the hotel.
I feel like no matter where we go, we're going to have this. Je ne sais pas.
Jean-Claude
Energy.
retreats to the kitchen. Apollo helps you clean up whatever is left on the table and sees to any dessert needs. They do offer you something that he calls an iced fruit.
Any recollection?
You look at a table across the area from you. You see somebody with a rounded mound of something that looks like an icy slush, kind of a rosé color.
They will feed
You've
you.
already been delivered your bill for the evening. This looks to be complimentary.
I want a chocolate covered pastry or chocolate imbued pastry if there is one. Did we get those during the meal or?
It was promised.
There is a dessert menu still on the table. It's still in its upright and closed position.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like we
To-
needed to have pastry before he left.
But there is the little frozen dishes before you smell of roses and strawberries.
Oh, so everybody has one in front of them right now?
They just bring them out.
Yeah, I'll scoop away.
You're given these tiny little spoons that look like toothpicks in Bjorn's hands, but
Push mine away. Someone else can have that.
they're
Submission.
under flavored for the amount that you're getting. When you put a mouthful in from the tiny little spoon, it evaporates almost immediately, but invites you to take a second bite almost instantly because you're trying to get more of that flavor in. And as you dogpile on the scoops, eventually you get to the point where there's satisfaction, but it takes almost that entire scoop in front of you before satisfaction is realized.
Just
Where the sweetness finally gets to that point.
Yeah. And the rose bouquet is the long-lasting memory that comes from this dish. And you look at the back of the room towards the illuminated section of the restaurant that's undercover, and you see Jean-Claude with his arms folded, smiling and nodding.
At us?
Oh yeah.
Now, your
Should I-
interpretation, whether it's satisfaction or
Should
it's
I
like
have a private chat with Jean-Claude?
We are gonna go right now. We're going to leave. Cornell, I think we should just pick up and GD.
Cornell's already putting his jacket on.
I nod and just pay my respects to Jean-Claude and reach over and grab Bjorn.
Don't touch me.
Okay. Let's go. Let's go.
Blanca puts her dark sunglasses on.
I wait to pull out her chair as she stands.
She acknowledges your.
Holster my Ragnar. Scratch my head under the chainmail.
Robin's going to go in on point towards the elevator, towards Jean-Claude first, and is going to give a very natural Clovian. It was so wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're dangerous.
Just to make him smile, if nothing else.
You exit the building, take the elevator down. You're out on the streets.
So
then-
Jean-Claude didn't seem in any way awkward with that. He was impressed and happy. Okay.
He was more than happy to have a beautiful woman push her lips against his cheeks.
Okay. He's straight. It's fine.
You get down to the street level. It's about 3 p.m. You're guessing. You, in response to that query, hear the distant bells of a church several blocks away chime the hour at 3 o'clock.
Is there an alley nearby?
Every place is an alley. Which one do you want?
You're in a
Find
medieval
an alley.
town. Yeah.
Get 5 or 6 feet into the alley and shove my fingers down my throat to purge the vodka, any food that I ate, just get it up and out.
I need the rest of you to make a fortitude check.
Oh, as soon as he starts doing that, I walk away if I can have a save. Because he's paranoid. I know he is.
What's your
Blanca does this
charisma?
after every meal.
What's your charisma, Bjorn?
It's a 10.
Your DC is a 20.
Oh, okay. Good.
My fortitude's a 23.
I
23.
33. I rolled 18.
None of you are sickened by the sounds that Bjorn
What
made.
about Blanca?
I just rolled hers.
Okay.
She's a 24.
Okay.
Yeah. Bjorn is purging himself onto the side of an old building, and the chowder effect onto the cobblestones feels personal. You've all had your bad days where food doesn't sit right, whether it's food poisoning or just over drinking. But the way Bjorn does it takes it to an art form.
I know exactly what's going on, though. I know exactly that his paranoia is playing into this, and he is terrified of being poisoned. I just put my head in my hands, and we've
Come
got
out and wiping my face on my sleeve. Oh, I feel better.
You got some in your beard. Some.
We're going to the hotel, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're only a couple blocks away.
I will
You get
bathe.
cleaned up there.
You can see Bjorn's abs still quaking at the.
Even now, they are magnificent.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So, what can we feed you that is not poisoned?
Nothing. Where is the nearest hospital?
The hospital?
I will need to know when the poison olives begin to work their vile effects.
On the rest of us?
Yes, I did not see our team leader imbibe of any olives.
No, he took yours.
I'll be the first to go.
Oh. Then I will
Double
be the
dose.
last man standing and will have to avenge all of your deaths.
Bjorn,
Perfect.
is your plan for the following several days not to eat, drink, or look at anything around you? I'm confused.
Of course you're confused.
No,
And
is your
hugging and
plan not
kissing
to?
doppelgangers and echelon agents. Just stop talking to me, all of you. Stomp ahead of the group and head in the direction I think the hotel is in.
Roll a 6-sider for me.
Cornell, I am so sorry. Even in the
He walks in the
Ember
wrong
King
direction
view
with authentic fervor.
I go.
eyes up.
Turn and walk in that direction now.
Little court correction, your fit feels more appropriate.
What time is the meeting?
We'll go there at 6.
Then I have some time.
Time to what? What do you have time to do?
To try to get myself under control.
Oh, I can
Do
totally.
you know how close the bear is to the surface?
I think I
He
saw
almost
that.
came out in the crowded restaurant. I have been chastised for doing that in the past.
Yeah, and
Bjorn, can you talk to your emissary of Thor and calm
Thor?
down?
Don't blaspheme the day after Woden's Day.
Fine. Sorry, I don't know yours.
I need a
Odin,
steam bath. Stop talking to me.
do that.
that sounds good. What thing would you eat? If I gave you a big loaf of bread from some dive tavern, would you be up for that?
I don't want anything to eat. I want to steam. I want to be left alone for a few hours, and perhaps
Bjorn, lead the way back to the hotel. Let's get you your
tomorrow
steam.
can come.
Bjorn, you walk the block and a half back towards the Ibis Hotel. You move into the hotel lobby with all the subtlety of a storm. The man behind the counter raises his pork pie hat up a little bit, raises his eyebrows. Welcome back, sir. Is there something I can do for you?
Do you have a steam bath?
Yes, of course. Come with me. He steps out from behind the counter. You see him go down the hallway and goes to a heavy oaken door, grabs a hotel key, turns the lock. You see him go down a half flight of stairs. Follow me.
Before I follow him, who's among the team is closest to Bjorn at the moment?
Robin's not far behind you. She seems to be your wingman in this moment.
Walk over to her and grab her by the arm. Find me a morphine.
What?
And then I'll go follow Steam Bath Man.
He takes you down 2 short flights of steps. It takes you through what looks like a glass sliding door, and you hit steam almost immediately. You get down into this area. You can hear the percolating water ahead of you, and he indicates to you a number of wooden lockers where you may push your stuff. He's got a stack of towels half as high as he is, and you see a boiling pot of water that feels like home.
Well, I will strip myself bare ass, Viking naked, put everything in the locker except for my axe and bring that in with me.
You settle into the water. All of your
Sit
sensitive parts retreat far enough that they don't feel like they're on fire. You settle in for a moment, then relax in the purification that is boiling water.
just lay the axe across the edge of the tub and hope that the steam soaks the crazy out of me, because I know it's crazy right now.
You smell eucalyptus and chlorine.
It's kind of like Banny.
Well, if only I had some morphine, everything would be fine.
Always.
Robin, do you try to appeal to his need?
I am shocked by the sudden urgent request saying I need to have morphine. I know that he was in the hospital.
We walk. I mean, I walk in behind it. Behind as this whole. Do I see
Danny's
that?
probably the only one who knows that Bjorn is addicted to the stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Maybe
going
Blanca.
to go to the closest person. I'm not going to go to Blanca. It's going to be Banny or Cornell, whoever's
Robin,
immediate.
you're standing there in the foyer as the hotel manager comes back up from downstairs. You hear Banny come in behind you. You turn to confirm it visually. You know what's transpiring downstairs. You know the request.
I'm going to wave towards Cornell, like, come hither, and give a moment of appreciation to Alexander for the wonderful restaurant he recommended. It was truly fantastic.
Yes, of course. Jean-Claude took care of you?
Oh, he looked over us so closely. It was wonderful.
Magnifique. Magnifique.
Yeah, c'est magnifique. He knows you. I can tell that he was trying to take especially good care for guests here.
He smiles and tips his hat your direction. You see him intentionally keeping his eyes on your face and not wandering.
Very
He's a
disciplined.
gentleman.
Plus, his wife is nearby.
I walk in behind you as this exchange is going, and I say, "So where's Bjorn?"
So, Bjorn is in for a steam bath downstairs.
Oh, there are steam baths downstairs.
I didn't know either, but he knew who to ask, and he asked me for morphine urgently. Is that going to be anything positive?
Let's go upstairs. Have a conversation there.
Okay.
Cornell and Blanca, you enter about this time.
Wave everybody forward.
Yeah, I'll join him. Where's Bjorn?
Let's pile into the elevator. It is enough for 4 people, correct?
Well, plus
Especially
the
if
elevator operator. Plus the elevator
it's
operator.
tight, but you can all fit.
Okay.
Well, plus the
But
elevator operator. Is that not so?
it's
Yeah.
Just pay our respects, move on through, and basically wave everybody into one of the double bedrooms. So Bjorn asked for morphine.
Yes.
Oh, is he still in pain from his head wound?
No.
Not physical.
Right now, Bjorn is in a state, and he needs to calm down. And I think this might be the only way to keep him from shooting somebody who doesn't deserve to be shot just yet.
I mean, I'm sure that I could find something on the street with my skills, but is that what we do?
I guarantee he's got some in his bag. I hate going
He
through his
asked
stuff.
me to. Okay.
I'm sure he's brought some with him. He was in the infirmary for a while. I'm sure he was able to tuck a few away. Dr. Kane cannot resist his charms, especially if he's just about to break his arm.
Oh, he's such a smooth devil.
If you would honor me, Cornell, and open his door, you can watch over me while I look for his stuff. But it really is if you agree with this.
I mean, is there any reason not to give him morphine if he needs it? Does he does need it, right?
He may need it to just function until he calms down. But it also could make him loopy.
He carries morphine on all of his missions?
No, I think really just he just happened upon a stash since he's been in the infirmary for a bit. He doesn't normally. I don't know Actually, he may have always had a stash. I don't know, but I'm sure it will be in his gear. And
Well, let's take a look, I guess.
actually, you'd probably be better at picking out where something like that would be hidden. But he's not really a hider. He doesn't really hide things.
He's more like between these two grenades.
Oh, there it is. Look at that.
Check it out.
If Bjorn has any Surets, Keith, that'd be completely up to you.
Oh God, of course he does. What
You mean he didn't just send Robin out to be like his druggie?
the problem is that many of them have expired years ago, and he doesn't relinquish them because it's his emergency staff. Or staff.
You might need one.
Yeah.
I mean, MREs last for years and years.
Yeah, why wouldn't this? And it, of course, the fresh stuff is way better, but he's in a strange town. He doesn't have a connection here. And if Robin can't produce, sure, we'll go to the stash.
Cornell's gonna go out to the hallway, take a quick look at his room key, just to
Mhm.
see what he's working with, and then pick Bjorn's lock.
Pick locks.
With the multi-tool.
37.
37.
Shit.
Burgundian
Damn.
army knife.
Yeah.
The locks in here are definitely quality. The manager downstairs was most courteous and very casual in his acceptance, but as you are dressing these locks, you realize you just barely bypassed the security.
Damn.
Oh wow! I rolled a 19 to get that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So now you know how hard it is. You just
You
Wow.
open the door, smile crosses your face. It's a little satisfaction. Maybe a little wetness escapes from some orifice. You're not sure.
the olive. The olive.
Yeah, it's a squirt of an olive when you throw it in your mouth.
Pat myself on the back a little bit and put away my tools.
You're in the compartment that is Bjorn's room. You see there's a single bed there, a window just beyond, a small lavatory just as you enter the door. There's a small table just as you enter inside and a fresh plant there fumigating the room.
Defumigated.
I kind of call back into the hallway. Bunny, any idea what I'm looking for here? Have you seen?
Yeah, I'll walk in and just a moment, everybody, and shut the door behind me. It's about this big. It's got a little point on one side.
I know what a thread.
I
mean, does he have a pouch he keeps him in that I need to look for?
Oh, I don't know. We're basically gonna just rifle through his stuff because I have no idea.
Fantastic!
I would
This is gonna
expect
go
it
over
to
really
be
well.
Well, he's expecting it. I hope
He's not going to shoot a random person that doesn't deserve it. He's going to shoot us
You're all doppelgangers.
because we do deserve it.
Well, he's asking for something. He's asking for something.
Robin's
look for a little
posted
case.
outside the door. Okay.
Yeah, look for a little case like this.
All right.
Just it's tin
I
plated.
I try to be respectful of his stuff, but I'd still rifling. I'm still.
He would
moving
probably
stuff
have
out.
them just loose in his shaving kit. Not that he does a lot of shaving, but that's where his toiletries would be, and
That makes sense.
however many Surets.
You
Give
keep
me
yourself
a
trim. You keep yourself
sneak-
trim. You
Give me a sneak action. Let's see how long it takes to find it.
Ooh, not good. 15.
Yeah, you open up his shaving kit and you see the normal stuff you would expect there. Beard oil is right on the top. What you don't catch right off the bat is that there's a second zipper liner where the tiny little petite zipper runs along the inner lining. And as you're rifling through this thing, you discard it onto the bed. Danny, give me a seek action.
22.
You pick up the discarded bag. You look it over. You're pretty sure it's not in there either.
Keep going.
Do a once over of his entire duffel. I'm not seeing anything here, Bunny.
You guys spend the next 40 minutes.
40
tossing
minutes?
this place.
Okay, pause. At like 15 minutes, Robin, who's standing outside, kind of annoyed, is like,
I'll go
You
over and
step
open it.
inside and you see the room is starting to get turned over like they're mafia members looking for some kind
Like
of
a burglary.
the Viking's going to come
I-
back sometime here.
Well, I expect it's got to be in here.
roll a seek action, Robin.
I don't know. 20?
Yeah, you guys spend an hour in this room and you have turned everything over. Cornell sits down on the bed, flabbergasted. He's like,
You know, he might
there's
not have
nothing
it.
up here. And the little shaving kit bag that he had tossed the very first time he was in there rolls over, and you see a little foil pouch sticking out of the corner.
How did we? I
Is that-
open it up and look at it.
There are 6 pouches in there. You can see these are issued, military issued.
How did we miss this?
I thought I opened it.
All right, I'm gonna take these down to him.
I'll
Can
tidy
you
up
two
here.
try and
Just
tidy
give
up?
him. Just give him one. Just give him one.
I'll leave the other 5 up here.
Yeah.
Wait. He asked me to give it to him.
Yeah, Robin. Wait.
I
are you
hand it to
prepared
Robin.
to see what you're going to see? Because I'm sure it's going to be unabashed.
So have I seen druggies on the streets in Gonth before? Yes.
Naked, with swinging an axe.
Be careful, Robin. He's on edge, and he already has an axe to grind up with you.
Come on.
He's
one
got a
more
lot of
axe
things.
One. Make it a triple.
We'll clean up
Bjorn.
here.
I'll be all right.
You're kind of on the edge, right? All the things that make him uncomfortable have come to bear on him in the last 24 hours. This boiling pot of water, this stew he has immersed himself in, the pain that is associated with that is just enough to keep those monsters at bay. But the one thing that would satisfy this moment, that would take you out of it, has been denied you. You've asked your friends to bring it to you, and there's no sign of it. You see the door open. There's a glass slider down into this room. Through the mist that is accumulated in the air, you see a slim silhouette. You recognize it as Robin. She's making her way towards you, but she looks, I'm not sure if that's a tail and horns, but it's not what it seems. She's got something in her hands. It could be a gift or a knife.
Well, I'm not about to let a demon come in and kill me while I'm in my soup. So I'm going to stand bolt upright, grab my axe, and snarl.
Robin, you see hell on 2 feet.
Bjorn, it's me. It's me. You asked me for this. Put down your axe. Easy.
Make a will check.
Not my strong suit.
Can I make my charisma roll?
It's your charisma. It's your charisma plus 10 is the DC.
To fail?
No, his roll against you. Actually, make it your diplomacy. What's your diplomacy?
My
Plus
diplomacy skill is merely 11 on diplomacy.
You need a
That's
21.
I'm using a will save.
Yep.
17.
Doesn't that mean that my diplomacy overcomes his will?
You see Robin approaching you. The knife flickers for a moment and turns into a packet that you recognize. Your salvation.
She comes
The axe
up to
gets light
him.
in your hand, perhaps drops to the floor.
Grab it, jab it into one muscular buttock.
The gigantelope relaxes in front of you.
Yes. sink back into my soup.
She touches his shoulder, looking at the like this beast of a man who's like in this moment.
Don't push it.
You couldn't be more comfortable standing on the surface of the sun.
I know. It's a one reassuring touch on the shoulder after the thank God.
Bjorn's going to just drift away into his opium-induced bliss and steam and heat. And
You hear the door open behind you, Robin, and the manager sets a stack of towels down on a wooden bench and then vanishes in the same fashion he arrived.
Check the towels.
Oh, they're nice and cool, stacked perfectly.
Sorry, that was my paranoia.
and they're full of scorpions.
Just saying. And then I'll post myself outside of the sauna. Just sit. If there's a bench nearby, she'll just sit there in her tweed skirt, and her pistol is in her purse.
During his lucid moments, Bjorn will talk dirty to her.
Through the door? She doesn't want to get all hot and sweaty more.
Who knows who he's talking to?
She'll overhear.
Oh man.
Cornell, where are you?
Trying to reassemble Bjorn's room.
I got to punch out and get some sleep, guys.
Thanks, John.
I got work
Thank
in
you,
the
John.
morning.
Okay, yeah.
We'll see ya.
See ya,
Auf Wiedersehen.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Wiedersehen.
You're reassembling Bjorn's room?
Right.
You making your way through, trying to undo all the damage you guys did, looking through his stuff. The window is open maybe 2 or 3 inches to let the evening breeze in, just to kind of get a little bit of a flow of air. In the distance, you hear a blood-curdling scream.
Yeah, drop what I'm putting away and head to the window, push it open, and look out.
You look out onto the street. You see the rampart just outside the window, parked cars all along the wall, people walking along the street. It's late in the afternoon. The sun is still up. You're not sure where the sound came from, but it didn't sound playful.
I don't see anything in the street below me or up or down the street.
Perception?
Uh, 32.
Distinctly sounded like it came from north of the road. As you look out the window, you can see, you look upon the Grand Port, can't see past it, but the sound came from north of that direction. You're staring at the deep end of 5 in the afternoon. You've still got 3 hours before sunset.
Do you want me to go with you?
I don't. I'm curious. I mean, it's good to know what's going on in the town, but it may not matter to us. Why don't we grab Blanca and go take a stroll? This stuff will still be here when we get back. That or Bjorn will find us and kill us, so it's fine.
I don't think he's gonna care as long as it's loosely pushed together, because you just all the hardware that's in this anyway. Do we expect to have Robin come back?
I think she's if she was coming back, she would have come back by now, but I think she was waiting for Bjorn.
Okay, let's just check in at the front desk as we go through.
We can leave a message at the desk to let them know if they see her or Bjorn that we went out for a walk to the north.
So Banny and Cornell and Blanca, you head out?
Yeah.
You exit the hotel, headed north up the main avenue. There's still a fair amount of foot traffic out here. What kind of strikes you is the casualness of all the other people around you in defiance of what you just heard. You make your way north about 100 yards. On your left are a number of cafes and restaurants. On your right, similar attractions. This seems to be like a restaurant row that you've entered into just north of the Grand Port. As you step out onto this grand boardwalk, you see that there are two figures in the middle of the road, a boy and a girl, probably in their early teens at best. The boy is standing over the girl on the street, and she shrieks once more in that blood-curdling scream that you heard from the window. You see her brother standing over her, holding something of a toy in torment. She has a very convincing scream, but you look and see no malice on either one of them.
Oh, I have my hand sitting on my hip right now.
Cornell was about the same. He was ready to draw.
This is brother and sister tormenting each other on holiday.
Rats.
I walk up and peel off a 5 lira bill, and I say, "You guys need ice cream." You
Boy
scream.
perks up. His sister, who was on the ground, looking like death was attacking her directly, sits up, smile crosses her face, and the two of them approach you like you're an ice cream truck.
You're gonna have to find it, but you can't do it here. Who's in charge of the $5? Of the 5 lira?
The boy reaches his hand out to take the 5 lira. The little girl muscles past him and snatches it.
Okay.
With a 24 on her athletics.
I'm fishing away from him, but when she reaches forward, I'm gonna let her grab it and run.
She snatches it from your grip at your behest and pulls it back, and you see him shoot daggers at her. She starts running north up the alley, and he tears ass after her. Half of that's mine, and the two of them disappear from view.
For fuck, this place is so toxic. Let's get back to the hotel.
Agreed.
You go back to the hotel, enter inside. You're greeted with the smell of crepes and coffee. The owner back behind the counter, you see him moving through his paperwork, pulls out a card, making a couple notes. He looks up. Oh, gentlemen, lady.
Good afternoon.
He goes back to his work.
Did the two from the basement or from the steam room come back up yet?
Oh, he reaches behind, and you see him open up a drawer, pull out a small bag, looks like a giant tea bag, sets it up on the counter. If you could take that down to the gentleman, I think he will appreciate it. Eucalyptus?
You put it on your skin?
Just throw it in the water. He'll be fine.
I hand it over. Are the crepes and everything, that's all good to go?
Oh, you wish? Okay, correct.
Well, I had a big lunch, but I was a little light on the pastry side, so I might do
He steps out behind the counter and smiles. He pats you on the shoulder. Come with me. He makes his way over, and you see him pull out a wooden toggle with a little cross piece and a batch of batter and pour it onto a hot plate. And then he stirs it around, making that beautiful little drapery. Behind him, you see that there are a number of jars with specimens of fruit. He grabs one that looks like bubbling strawberries, takes it with a spoon, ladles it across the top, folds it over a couple of times, and sets it on a plate in front of you. He grabs a little canister, which seems to be gas powered and
Scorches.
sprays some kind of a foamy white substance across the top, and then grabs a little canister with holes in the top, and you see what looks like nutmeg sprinkled across the top.
Oh, I take a few. Well, that's right. I do have some Quinn. So I pull out a few Quinn and slide it across. And a coffee.
Mhm.
I'm gonna set it.
He moves over to a machine that looks like the front end of a Jeep, pulls a couple levers, and some little spigot starts to spew brown liquid in a airy fashion, making noises like a drowning man. And eventually he pulls a waxy cup away, sets it on the counter.
I pay him for the service. I go and I set it down over at one of the little tables.
Mhm.
I pick up the bag and say, I'm gonna go check on the two downstairs.
Blanca sits in the chair you didn't occupy next to your stuff. I'll hold you to it.
If she, it might be good on her if she eats some of that.
You see
Sure,
her
it
twirling a
happens.
fork like a drummer in a rock band.
Go down and look in the hallway. I assume you're in the hallway, Robin.
Yeah, so if there's a bench that's outside, say for changing, she's sort of like seated there, looks kind of like, I don't know, like just sort of contemplative there outside the steam room.
She's on a
Looks up.
squatted cedar bench just outside of the steamy hot tub room.
How's he doing?
Better, I think. He almost did attack me, but you were right.
Oh.
He took the morphine and he settled down. Oh,
How are you doing?
is this for me?
No, this is we throw it in the pot. This, what are you grabbing at?
Your plate.
No, I left it upstairs. I did not bring it
Oh,
down.
never mind. I don't reach.
Yeah, you can eat the eucalyptus if you want.
Oh, that's.
How are you doing?
I'm all right, she says mechanically.
Commencing. Well, we just heard a shrill scream in the courtyard, and we went to go look at what was going on, and it was just people tormenting each other, and it was, nothing severe. But this place has everybody on edge. Just keep your wits about you.
Although, no, that's. I mean, it's right to be wits about us, but I feel like between Bjorn jumping at anything and someone was screaming.
Someone was screaming. It was two children playing. They were just playing. I sent them on their way.
We are strung so tight right now.
There's a time and a place for it, but I do stand by the idea that you do need to keep your sister out of this as much as possible. If you do see her again, say that you will catch up with her in the future.
I want her as far away from this as possible. There's no disagreement. I would love to see her, but not under these circumstances. Bjorn will probably shoot her. I mean, axe her.
Right now, probably not. But let me go and deliver this to just see what his state of mind is.
Okay.
I step past, push open the door, look at where he's at.
He's laid back. You're not sure if he's breathing. It takes a moment before you can see that he's not a corpse.
He's been through worse, and he's done this so many times at this point. I toss the eucalyptus into the bath and see if it
bag
stirs.
Apply it like a salve, like.
It floats for a moment and then slowly starts to sink into it, and you watch it disappear below the percolating waves. Bjorn's body is enormous in the tub. He does look like a cadaver to you, but you console yourself that he's been through worse.
We're going to have to get him out of there eventually. Especially because you should not fall asleep after drinking so much inside of a hot tub. Just headache-wise. But he's got the constitution for it. I step
You
out.
recognize that he could probably survive any poison that you put into his body, but he could drown in a thimble of water.
That's a good point. Hold your breath, and you don't know it. Okay. I go back out, and you're good for keeping an eye on him. I'm gonna go upstairs and figure out what's next.
Okay.
You're
Don't leave me
on-
down here too long. I'll keep an eye on him.
Well, we have to fish him out sometime so that he doesn't cook.
If we have to be there at what, 7?
Yeah, we got a little time. But yeah, we'll have to get him out of there eventually. I mean, probably in the next 20 minutes, probably, I would say. Or less. Anyway. Walk upstairs and, yeah. Talk
I'll
to
turn
Cornell.
to doing some drawing in the hallway.
The group of you return to the foyer, and you give each other kind of that glance of things are settled, everything's okay, we've got a moment. Cornell, you know you've got a rendezvous in the next hour and a half that's very important.
Yeah.
Your team is a little ragged, and Bjorn is not in any kind of situation for backup or lead or safety. This meeting might be one of those that is best taken with you and maybe one person for backup.
Do I take Bunny? What do you think, Blanca? Should I take Bunny, or do you want to come to this meeting?
I'll keep an eye on Bjorn.
All right. What do you say, Bunny?
Let me eat my crepes and drink my frothy coffee. This is wonderful. And maybe I'll have settled enough that we can do that.
The quorum of you share a moment there in the hotel lobby. Robin and Blanca resolve to keep an eye on the Viking as you two prepare to rendezvous with your contact. That's where we'll end tonight's adventure.
Bum bum bum.
Perfect. Glad we didn't kill each other.
Yeah, you're more dangerous to each other than the NPCs are to you.
I know. Great.
Everybody has this certain sense of familiarity and yet danger, and yet familiarity, and it's very
Couldn't
difficult.
have been a more worse but perfect time for Marianne to finally show herself. Assuming it is her.
Bum
Mike,
bum bum.
old elk.
It's
Yeah.
good, right?
Oh my God.
That
Yeah.
good.
It's
gonna
worth the
ruin-
extra $5
It's
over your
gonna
price.
ruin my bank account.
Yeah,
Pick some
yeah,
up.
it's dangerously good.
I'm seriously going to look it up in the Class 6, and if it's not there, then I guess I've got to go to the state liquor store.
Ugh. Well, you got to go to the one on Patterson because they didn't have it down by the one behind the mall.
Good to know. Oh my God. The one on Patterson?
It's a decent store.
Is the one in Centerville no good?
I bet you can. I mean, you
That's
can
probably
look
that's
it up.
probably same distance.
I didn't look there.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out because some of them look totally like they're a state, yeah, like they're a state pen or something. I got to pay my ticket.
Yeah, when is the liquor store like the DMV?
Yeah, gotta go renew my license.
Oh, they've got the worst line control at the liquor stores all throughout Utah. It always feels like a penal system when you go to pay for your liquor.
The one up in Ogden on no, not Harrison, Wall. During like the
Decent.
height of COVID, they had somebody stationed to prevent people coming in. You know, they were only allowing so many people in.
Mhm.
At a time, yeah.
But it was because they couldn't check people out fast enough. So instead of this person sitting on the register to check more people out faster, they
He's
just
standing at the
set them
door.
on guard duty. And so there would just be a line of people outside the liquor store.
Yeah. I
Crazy.
stood in a line like that on the one behind the Newgate Mall. That felt like punishment.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's probably worse because you're right there by the trains and
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I don't know if the person in front of me and behind me is a homeless guy with a knife, or somebody looking for a weekend getaway.
There you go. See, it's that conspiracy, and you think that everybody's out to get you. Good.
You guys are so freaking paranoid. I love it.
Yeah.
I
You kind of built us up to this because we know you.
I don't know. I didn't know what was going on tonight.
yeah, I mean everything is delightfully just oh, didn't expect that. Oh, that's putting me off, and Bjorn going off like that just makes
Oh my gosh.
everything that much.
See,
He's right to kind of go left field like he is. I mean, his whole character doesn't like magic. And if this
Right.
guy is like the antichrist of magic,
right? So, and what's great is that he can just go ahead and be in Bjorn and in the fullness, the weakness, and all of that of Bjorn, rather than saying I'm running an adventure and there's Bjorn. Yeah.
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 But really, Mike, this is probably the first time you've seen him in full Bjorn mode.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, every other time I've played in this group, it's with him running it, so he kind of plays them differently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting to see the difference.
Yeah. He's given himself a certain vulnerability, which is admirable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh. Yeah, triggers all around. And I could just see it all coming apart, and I'm just thinking, oh, Cornell, I'm so sorry.
He's going to recommend everyone on this team be given a mandatory leave of absence after this mission. You guys are not allowed to operate again.
No one here is sane.
Well, it's been 3 missions back to back, and well, not really back to back. I had a week break.
A week. Yeah,
but,
a week.
But my wife is gone out of town this whole time, and she's my stabilizer, and this whole situation is blowing up, and
You got your conjugal visit. Shut up.
that was the only reason why Banny could be sane.
Yes.
Why he could just, because he's like, okay, she's still there.
She's okay.
She's okay. Still smells like a puppy, but
She's still got that
She's
new
got the
puppy
puppy
smell.
no. Oh.
She's a little friskier and more experienced. Yeah,
You know,
interesting.
that was one of those rare solo adventures that was just deliciously delivered and consumed. I'm trying to remember. I mean, it's very seldom that I run or I'm participating in a one-on-one game mastering session.
That lasted 2 sessions. It was 2 sessions.
Was that 2 sessions?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was John gone that long?
Yeah, he was gone that long. We had 2 weeks. And
what's funny is that I was John and I and his ex-wife were in Wendover gambling till late hours. And we got in the car to drive home, and it was probably 12:30, maybe close to 1 a.m. And John and I were in the front seat. His wife was in the back seat. And John convinced me that he wanted to run an adventure while I was driving. So we're
Keep you
driving.
awake.
It's coming up on 1 a.m. and we're driving home in the dark, and we're the only car out on the road in that long stretch of Nevada desert. And he's laying this groundwork. You played with John. He's very descriptive. Everything was just like, oh my, so immersive. And I'm driving and gaming at the same time. So this was weird in the first place. His wife's asleep in the back seat, and we're just going at it. And we're 20 minutes, maybe a half hour out of Wendover, and we're like, oh, yeah. He's giving me all these descriptions, and I'm answering back and forth. And John and I have been really good in the past at just one-on-one role playing. And I look ahead in the headlights, and I see something draped across the 2 lanes in front of me. And I'm like, what the hell is that in the road? And I'm in a Nissan Stanza, right? I've had this car for maybe a year. It's not the greatest vehicle, but it's tolerable. And I realize as I get closer and I look into the headlights, I don't even have my high beams on. I've just got my regular lights out. And there's a deer over the 2 lanes, dead in the road. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I didn't know what to do, so I just kept driving and I hit this. I'm like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Huh. Okay. And the back end of the car starts to yaw.
Oh,
Really?
Was it antlers?
Oh my God.
I'm like, what is happening? So I can tell it's like losing control. And John is quiet at that exact moment we hit the deer. And I'm like, instead of pushing the gas or the brakes or anything, I put my feet to the sides of the firewall, right? I'm just trying to, between the drive tunnel and the outside door, I've just got my feet pinned up against it. All I'm holding is the wheel. We were going about 65, 70 miles an hour at this point. But the back won't stop oscillating.
Oh my God.
And at some point, it overwhelms my steering, and we flip around, and we're going backwards.
Oh shit.
I'm like, holy shit. At that moment, his wife, who's in the back seat, laying down sleeping, wakes up. She looks out the back window, and that's the direction we're going. And she's like all groggy and like, oh, what's going on? And she calls out, John, what's happening? And I'll never forget this. He said, shut up. I don't want to miss this.
He's the guy with the phone who's got the camera going, and it's like, oh, this is gonna be bad. Oh, he doesn't pull away.
Shut up, I don't want to miss this.
This is 1985, 1986, right? So I'm still, my feet are pinned to the sidewalls. I got my hands on the wheel. I'm like, we're going backwards. And we probably slowed to about 50 miles an hour at this point, just from the flipping of the car and all the momentum. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I'm like, I bet I can turn this car around if I maybe nudge the wheel. So I move it 10 degrees. We flip again. Now I'm facing forward, right? And it shudders to a stop. Like, holy shit, what just happened, right? My foot's just now hard on the brake. I've moved off of the sidewall. Steam is rising from the front of the car in ugly ways. I'm like, oh my gosh. I look around, everybody's okay. We're at a stop. And there's nobody out there. It's pitch black, desert. We all open the car doors. We get out. We're like, oh, okay, we're all alive. How did we survive 2 turns in the car and not flip this thing?
Yeah.
We're like, okay, well, let's check the engine. So I go around to the front. I grab the little catch, lift the hood. Steam rises out. It's not steam, it's blood. The deer had just poured its guts into my engine and just it came up as a mist, and we were like gagging, like trying not to throw up. Pull the hood back down. We're all wandering around like lost geese or something like that. We're like, oh my god. I'm like, well, we got no help out here, so we all pile back into the car again. And we're like, well, we got to get home. I turn the ignition a couple times, and finally it catches. I'm like, and it's late fall, early winter, so it's cold out, and we're shivering from standing out in the cold. So I turn on the heater. What greets us?
This is a story perfect for Halloween.
Oh,
Good God.
Mist of love.
So yeah, it enters the cabin, and we're all just like gagging. I'm like, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. So we make the 2.5 hour journey from Wendover back to Salt Lake with no heat.
So tell me, the back wheels. What was there any?
It just kept moving and moving. I couldn't stop the yaw.
Well, what happened later?
Was it
when you
front
were
wheel
driving
drive?
out?
Was it front wheel?
Yeah, it's a front wheel drive car.
Okay, so
it felt like Top Gun, you know, when he got in the jet wash.
Yeah.
And went into a flat spin. I'm like, that was playing out in my mind.
It sounds like the deer actually got stuck under the back for a bit.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
But when you restarted and headed back to Salt Lake with no heat, it wasn't fishtailing anymore?
No, it drove fine. I mean, I had the car for another 2 years, but every time I turned the heater on,
how did you clean the deer blood out? That's, oh my God.
Through the entire engine cavity, right? It was all over everything, and every time it got hot, it would just enter the cabin. I was so happy to get rid of that car.
I wonder why. Oh, that is just so awful.
Horrible. Horrible.
Shut up. Blood. I don't want to miss this.
I don't want to miss this. What's that? My own impending death.
Oh, it was delicious. I mean, they were divorced 2 years later, so I mean, that was a great harbinger.
Oh man.
So how'd the campaign end?
We never finished the adventure. It was one of those one-offs that never went anywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, that is pretty damn impressive. No, I think you caught part of the deer underneath the car, and it lifted up your rear wheels or something, and it was probably just scraping down the road with you.
The Nissan Stagza.
Slipping around, and as soon as you flipped it around, of course, you let go of the deer as you were doing, or something.
It was awful. I mean,
I'm sure
it was a subcompact, 4-door. It just wasn't meant to jump a deer.
Yeah.
This was no pickup truck or SUV or whatever.
Just beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Love the setting and the immersiveness that literally has us freaked out.
Yeah, the spraying of blood all over the place is just a sight. I'm thinking about it and I'm like, wow, damn, that's rough. That is something. Oh, good God. Well,
So Cornell, this is your shit show. So
thank you for this. I appreciate everything you've done to contribute to the shit show.
Yes, 100%. I love how Cornell blamed me for like creating Marianne out of thin air. Cornell. Sorry, I don't mean Cornell. The way that Bjorn blamed for the creation of Marianne. Don't ever distract you.
What did he say though? He said, never ever trust coincidences. Nothing happens by coincidence. There is always somebody pulling the strings, tugging at the marionette Marianne.
I have a plausible theory. I don't know if I want to spoil it because I don't think it's a Cornell theory. I think it's a Mike theory.
Like
Yeah.
everyone gets a tendril.
No.
We're just waiting for a couple
Well,
more.
my theory on Marianne. She may or may not be Marianne. That's not important. The
Right.
important thing is Robin is a known agent and a knock Richter with connections to this Marianne person who may or may not be your
May not be
sister.
her. Right.
How easy would it be to plant an echelon agent in where did she live? La Rochelle?
That's where she lives now. Yeah.
So if it is really her, you plant an echelon agent there to woo her. And now Robin's now compromised. It's easy as that. Bum, bum, bum. You show up, they get wind that Knock Richter's headed here to fish out this guy, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we got something ready." The Raven is going to be there, right?
Right.
And they grab their little echelon couple and
Let's
send them
throw
on
her out of her
vacation.
filter. Yeah.
See, yeah, and here is where it spins off into madness, even more than it already is. But yes, there is a high possibility, considering how often we seem to be late to the game. Although they would have been over the border long before us.
Yes.
Or they would have been over the border not long before us, but at least a day before us.
Well, if they only realized we were headed there when we maybe went through Zurich or something, that only gives them 10 hours.
Yeah, any of her cover story could be fabricated, saying we're here for 3 days.
And corroborated. We could corroborate that at her hotel. She told you where her hotel was, right?
Sure, but of course that could be paid too to say I've been here for 3 days, haven't I? Yes, I've been. You've been here for 3 days.
You could verify. I guarantee it.
But then you're playing into the opposite of what Bjorn wants of don't have any contact with her. And
frankly, from Robin's perspective too, I don't want to have contact with her for her own potential protection.
Right.
Yep. And then they can pick up that thread again in the future that Mike's talking about.
Sometimes a cigar is only a cigar.
Yes, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. And that is exactly how I felt this entire trip, especially after getting late. Absolutely.
Well,
after getting late.
I think Bjorn only went crazy when he realized it was a magic college.
Yes.
Well,
that's where the dial went to crazy.
it was like kind of asleep, regular Bjorn, extra Bjorn, super crazy Bjorn.
Well, as soon as he saw that old war vet sitting out on the front, and it's like that could have been me. I think that put him in a spin, and then he realized what it's like. It triggers an emotion in him for one, and then this other idea of wait, this magic guy. He's actually in a college full of other magic people.
Right. This is horrible.
This is the worst thing ever. So,
where's my Flammenwoofer?
Yeah. Let's start cooking people. Anyway, I gotta go.
I think thanks to morphine, we're good.
I hope.
Eric has burnt his wick to the quick.
Wick to the wick.
Well. Oh yeah,
night, man.
I'm burned. Well, so there's this meeting that somebody put together that I'm not really involved in normally, and it's usually handled by people on the East Coast. It's at 6:30 a.m.
Oh my god! You need to fire them.
Well, that's the thing.
That's what I dealt with all last week.
These are the big important.
That's right. How'd you do?
I haven't taken the actual proctored test yet, but I'm not worried about it.
Oh, okay.
Always lovely. That's a good thing. If you're not worried about it, even better.
Yeah. I mean, I got 9 out of or 90% on my like little evaluation at the end of the class. I'm like, yeah. I'll read through the book once more and then take it.
I'm starting on this as preparation for the advanced financial planning course I'm taking.
Ugh,
In
that's an ugly
a
book.
few
Don't even
weeks.
show that. Don't put that in the screen again.
Why? Oh no, actually, this is really good. This is a good book. Actually,
And nobody wants to think about that. Nobody wants to think about it. Everybody just wants to invest in their cryptocurrencies and hope that it pays out. Wait,
hope in one hand and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Eric, have a good night's sleep. Get as much as you can. Engage with the
Well,
day.
I will have naps. That's the beauty of working from home is the naps.
it's true. It's true. It's like kindergarten.
That's right. They give me a square of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Do they cut the crust off?
They actually do cut the crust off, and I get a little thing of milk in that little square, and I eat the square, and I drink the milk, and go to sleep, and feel very refreshed. This is. Oh no, I have to actually take my son to school too at 7:30.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'm going to bed. Anyway.
Go to bed.
Oh,
Good night.
I'm running the stream. I'm killing the stream.
Oh, good night.
Enough.